Dude.
Let's talk about it. X-Rated Sports Network.
If it's game time talk, we the ones who connect.
X-Rated Sports Network.
Where the hot takes live and the truth get checked. East Coast talk, West Coast swagger. Stats on the board, yeah, the debate get louder. No filter talk, yeah, we calling the play. If it's sports conversation, we leading the way. From the hardwood to the gridiron plays. Breaking every matchup, every headline debate.
X-Rated Sports Network.
Yeah, remember the name.
Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing? It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. Your boys are back, man. In the lower left, we have Dr. Phil McDonald, a.k.a. Dr. X. He's our founder. He's our creator, entrepreneur, philanthropist, one of the top sports medicine radiologists in America. He is flanked by A.M. Pfeffer, back from vacation. And we have Dwight Walton right now. Obviously with us always. Canadian basketball legend. I am Rick Kamla. We have Dante Marchitelli, announcer for the Orlando Magic, joining us at 3 p.m. Eastern. We hope to get B-Dot on today. We hope to get Dennis Scott on today and have just like kind of like the Magic and, you know, just get the full crew, right? Because the Magic guys kind of rolling. They've won 4 in a row. They're healthy. But that's not where we're starting the show. We'll talk about them with Dante. We got to start the show, Doc and AM, and our beautiful audience, by throwing some flowers at the big fella down here in the lower right. Doc, AM, everybody. Dwight Walton won our tournament pool by picking Michigan, and it came down to Dwight and Doc. And if UConn had won, Doc would have won the pool. But Michigan won, so Dwight won the pool. So, Dwight, I want to start the show dapping you, and congratulations, and you can talk all the smack you want right now.
Yeah, this is very much deserved. I'm patting myself on the back. I fully expect you guys to bow down to my greatness, my knowledge. No, listen. Although my bracket was busted probably the first weekend of the tournament, I ultimately ended up having the right 2 teams in the final in the championship game in Michigan and UConn. I did predict a 75-72 score, Michigan ultimately winning. The final was 69-63, so I was in the ballpark. But simply put, I knew that Michigan had a very experienced roster, and what I thought, again, people out there, my opinion, what I thought was the best player coming into the tournament in Yaxel Lundenberg. Everybody knows that I'm a LeBron James advocate. Yaxel Lundenberg is not on LeBron's level, so don't get it twisted, but he is the LeBron James of college basketball. When you're 6'9", 250, 260 pounds, you can dribble, pass, and shoot, and you can legitimately guard all 5 positions on the floor. You're going to get my attention. So that's why I thought Michigan would ultimately win this championship. Their front line, I believe, are all going to be in the NBA at some point. They had a veteran roster, guys that were 22, 23, 24 years old. Dusty May, the head coach, knew what he was doing to go from 8-24 2 years ago to be hired and now to be hoisting the NCAA championship trophy. That tells you the landscape of college basketball. If you've got the resources and you know how to recruit, you can put together a masterclass that Dusty May has done over the last 2 years. Again, Yaxel Lundenberg, had he been healthy in that championship game, I don't think we'd be talking about a close game. It just speaks to the greatness of the coaching ability of Danny Hurley, who I believe this wasn't one of his more talented rosters, but to make it a game, I give him credit for that. But Yaxel Lundenberg, Dusty May, and the Michigan Wolverines are worthy champions. They were the best team coming into the tournament, and they ultimately proved it by winning the championship.
Dwight, when you're comparing... Oh, I'm sorry. Please, Rick, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to shout out to people making comments and stuff. Guys, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would appreciate that. All right, so AM, go ahead. What you got?
Dwight, when you were comparing Yaxel to LeBron, I thought you were just equating the fact that LeBron's the oldest player in the NBA and Yaxel might be the oldest player in the NCAA. My man's got 2 kids and a mortgage, right? Like, and the receding hairline to boot where it's at. Congratulations to you, Dwight. It really was a hell of a win. Also, what the hell is Florida Tech? Would you mind explaining your shirt to us?
Florida Tech Panthers. This is the school, my school that I went to. I did attend Siena College initially for my freshman year, where I was the North American Conference Rookie of the Year. I ran into some eligibility issues, causing me to transfer to a Division II, Division III, or an NAIA school. I chose Florida Tech. The late, great Tom Folliard, who was my coach at Florida Tech, he told me, if anything goes awry with your eligibility, I will give you a scholarship even if I don't have one. And of course, the school was in Florida. The weather played a factor. We took the worst Division II school in the country to top 5 over the course of my career at Florida Tech. I was a three-time All-American. I'm in the Schools Hall of Fame. I'm in the Conferences Hall of Fame, the Sunshine State Conference. So needless to say, my career at Florida Tech definitely is a major part of my resume and my basketball journey. So I am repping the Florida Tech Panthers today. Very, very proud member of Panther Nation.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
I'm so glad you just gave all of that. And everybody else should hear that.
And Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer,
yes.
Dwight Walton. That is amazing, dude. That is amazing. All right, so let's have a Hall of Fame. Let's have a Hall of Fame debate here, guys. Let's mix it up. I think some sparks are going to fly here. I think so. Cade Cunningham came back last night, double-double, 13 points, 10 assists against the Bucks, who are so lame, and we got some stuff on them coming up. Cade missed 12 games with the collapse lung. He's back. And so who goes farther, the Pistons or the Knicks? Ooh, yep, we're going back down that road. And hopefully this creates a lot of hilarious bickering between Dr. X and his cousin, Hall of Famer, Dwight Walton. I'm going to go first here. I say the Pistons go farther than the Knicks. First of all, I've been impressed with how this team has kept winning without Cade. Detroit doesn't have a badass number 2 scorer. We get that, okay? But they defend and they're deep. And the Pistons are flawed. Yeah, they are, okay? Everybody in the East is flawed, in my opinion, except Boston in some way. Detroit's going to advance past the first round. It'll be the 1-8 matchup. I don't know who they're going to play. Could be Orlando, could be Charlotte. They're going to win that matchup. Detroit then, second round, like Cleveland, Atlanta, Toronto, something like that. Detroit's going to beat all those teams. New York's going to play Boston in round 2. If they get out of round 1, the 3-6 series right now would be Knicks and Raptors. I like the Knicks in that proposition. The Knicks are not beating the Celtics, in my humble opinion. It might go 7, but I got the green team in that matchup, and I got some advice. I think the Knicks need to lose out, drop out of 3, get down into the 4-5 where you win that, then you get Detroit in round 2 and prolong the Boston series. Knicks fans may agree or disagree with me, and that is where we go next to Dr. X. Dr. X, who goes farther, the Pistons or the Knicks?
The Knicks. But to your point, first off, we're not trying. At this point, we're going to be the 3rd seed. I don't see the wisdom in dropping to the 4th seed. And in your scenario, who would we be playing in the 5th seed?
Probably like Cleveland.
Yeah, that's not a better matchup. I'd rather see. To me, when you're doing this, it really counts for the first round, because the second round you're going to have to see somebody. So at that point, you just don't want like a first round collapse, which would be catastrophic to any franchise that had hopes of winning it all. So I would say Toronto, we've had their number all year, and and we beat them by large margins. It's never been an issue for us, and we kind of know that we could beat that squad. There's 2 of their best players, or 2 of their 4 best players are former Knicks. I don't think there'll be a problem for us. So I would rather stay with the 3 versus 6, Toronto, and I would like to see, honestly speaking, the Celtics in the second round and just put all those things to rest. I keep on making this point. I've heard some people finally get on board with it this morning. But the Celtic team is not better than – they're different, but they're not better than the team last year. Not having Kristaps Porzingis, not having Drew Holiday, not having Al Horford, those were big pillars in that lineup, why they were so good. That backcourt was really great because you had Derek White and Drew Holiday, not just Derek White. And honestly speaking, when we've matched up against the Celtics, I know that was a different team because they had Anthony Simons previously on that roster. We beat them. And I feel like we match up well with this Celtics team. And Jason Tatum, although he is back, is not 100% Jason Tatum from last year. And even with that squad, we beat them fair and square. There was no injury things to really, outside of Kristaps not playing high minutes. But I like our chances. And truth be told, I think the Cavs versus Detroit is going to be where Detroit gets knocked out. And that will be
very interesting.
I don't even think we'll see. Yeah.
Oh, I mean, literally, the biggest dichotomy or juxtaposition that we have on this show is the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'm telling you right now, like a lot of you guys are high on them. I'm sell Mortimer, sell Mortimer, sell. I can't sell quick enough. Okay, I want nothing to do with that stock. And you guys are investing millions into theoretically into stock on the Cavaliers, who got a feisty win last night against the Atlanta Hawks. I mean, look, I do give the Cavs a lot of credit. They are a half game behind the New York Knicks right now. After that lousy start, they're a half game behind the Knicks. The Cavs have been cooking for about 2 months until the playoffs. But Doc, we'll see how that all plays out. All right, let's get AM Pfeffer talking here. AM, who goes farther, the Pistons or the Knicks? And the little sidebar thing, let's add this to it. Do you agree with me or Doc? Doc wants the Knicks to stay at 3. I think they'd be better served to fall to 4. What's your take on that, too?
Let me answer that question first. Knicks are absolutely better served at 3. I want them to play the 6 seed, whoever ultimately ends up there. And to answer the question, and Doc's going to like this, if we can get a wide shot again, I'm putting my hand right. Just give me that. The Knickerbockers are going further than Detroit Rock City. I'm staking my claim on this. The Knicks are back, baby. And Detroit, and look, I get it, and we're all excited. They've been amazing without Cade in the lineup. They've done what they've needed to do. But there's something going on 7 through 10. Well, at least 7 through 9. Call that 6 through 9, right? I want to see the Raptors just sit down right now, park the bus, become the 6 seed. That's who the Knicks need to see. Detroit and Boston should not want to see literally anybody else who's coming out of that, whether that's Philadelphia, the resurgent Orlando Magic, who, by the way, they got M&F back on that team. Who am I talking about? Mo and Franz back there. Look, the Magic have just beaten back-to-back Minnesota and the Detroit Pistons, okay? And that was without Franz Wagner the other night. You're talking about the Philadelphia 76ers, who nobody should want to see when they are healthy, okay? They've got a chip on their shoulder. And they've got a rested 63-year-old Paul. You know what I'm talking about.
George?
Yeah, excuse me, Paul George.
Paul George.
Podcast
Forgot his
Pete.
name for a moment. Right. So they're another team nobody wants to see, and ain't nobody wants to see Dwight Walton, Charlotte Hornets, who very well may come out as the 8th seed, okay, against Detroit. So there's a good chance either the 1 or 2 seed loses in the first round. I really believe that. I think the Magic or Charlotte, if they end up in the 7th or 8th seed, someone's taken out Boston or Detroit. This could very well happen. This could play to the Knicks' favor because they're going to end up playing Toronto, okay? And they can handle them for sure. And we'll see when they get to the second round who the Knicks ultimately have to play. But they'll be ready for them, and they'll have home court advantage when that time comes. I'm taking the Knicks. I'm feeling good about them. There's something about them. They're a python in the grass waiting to spring. Forget the Jekyll and Hyde stuff. I'm watching this team very closely the last 6 or 8 games. We're cresting towards the playoffs. They're in a much better place than Stephen A. Smith is giving them credit for. Knicks.
Boy, Stephen A. Smith has a lot of rivals right now. All this Matt Barnes stuff. I mean, the Stephen A. Smith thing is like the Jason Whitlock and SAS going all gangster on him, and it's kind of crazy, man.
It's
Kind of
too
crazy.
much, too much.
But yeah, no doubt. But Dwight, I am fascinated. We have Knicks out there in LA. We have me saying Detroit's going farther than New York in these playoffs. Do we have a bicker fest, Dwight Walton?
Why, yo, Jason and Kai, why the zoom in on my cousin Phil? What's going on here? What's supposed to happen? I'm kidding. I'm joking. Listen, no, here's the deal. The Knicks want to stay in the third spot because they're ultimately going to play Toronto in the first round. And the reality is, as much as I think Toronto will not be an easy win for any team in the Eastern Conference, a lot has to go right for Toronto. Their two main guys have been relatively healthy, talking about Scotty Barnes and Brandon Ingram. But I think the two most important players for the Raptors have been in and out of the lineup due to injury, talking about RJ Barrett and Jakob Poeltl. The reality is the Knicks have beaten the Raptors 10 straight times, 13 of the last 15. So the Knicks will need confidence by winning that first round. Then they got to go up against the Boston Celtics. And the reality is no team is the same as they were last season. We could talk about this team being better than last year, what players are no longer on the roster, but this is a different season. It has nothing to do with what happened back in 2025. This is all about 2026. It's all about momentum. It's all about matchups. And just based on that alone, to answer the question, I will go into it more in depth, but to answer the question, the obvious answer to me is that Detroit is going to go further than Boston because I think,
Boston
than
or the
Knicks,
Knicks?
excuse
Look
me,
at you. You
than
can't
the
even
Knicks,
get your thoughts straight.
excuse me, because Detroit is going to have quote unquote the easier route to the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks got to get through Boston, and Boston is playing better than they are right now. They are going to target Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns in every screen roll action imaginable. The Celtics are more athletic, they're better defensively, and they score the basketball better. They got the best two-way duo in the NBA in Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. That to me alone is going to win the series for the Celtics over the Knicks. The Knicks have a ton of pressure coming into these playoffs. They put the target on their back when they fired their head coach last summer, basically saying Tom Thibodeau wasn't good enough, and we think Mike Brown is the best option to get us over the top. The floor was 50 wins. The floor is the Eastern Conference Finals. If they don't get past that, I see a major, major roster overhaul this offseason. And the next question is, do Leon Rose and Jim Dolan keep Mike Brown as head coach after one season? The reality is it's about matchups. Karl Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson are going to get targeted. Karl Anthony Towns is horrible in space. He cries a lot. He whines a lot. He doesn't take advantage of his mismatches on the low block. If he's not getting his three-point shots, if he's not giving the ball on the perimeter, he sulks, he whines. You can see it in his body language. And until that is fixed, I don't think the Knicks are going to handle the pressure and get by the Boston Celtics in the second round. Detroit is playing too well. They found out some things that they can play and win without Cade Cunningham. St. John's' Danis Jenkins has emerged as that second shot creator, scorer for the Detroit Pistons, and they can defend. That, to me, is going to get them over the top and allow Detroit to get further than the Knicks in these playoffs. I'm not so sure the Knicks can handle the pressure. There's a lot of pressure on the Knicks in these playoffs. A lot. Because if they don't do what they're supposed to do, like I said, roster overhaul, and possibly Mike Brown might be one and done in Gotham City.
Doc, you've been sitting, patiently listening. Would you like the opportunity to rebuff, rebuke?
He's just saying the obvious stuff. The point of the matter is playoffs is a whole different season. Yes, we know the Knicks team has a lot of flaws and they don't match up well against certain teams, and we see that in the playoffs. But in the 7-game series, and also from what I've seen this year, and also from last year, which does matter, by the way, this Celtics team is not better than the Knicks team, and they don't match up better. We actually only added to what we had last year. And I don't think that Celtics team can beat us in the 7-game series. And I think they know it. They know it. And that's no one's ducking any smoke from the Celtics. In terms of the Detroit Pistons, I can see that being an issue for the Knicks. But the problem I'm seeing with the Detroit Pistons is I don't think they can beat the Cavs in the 7-game series. And whoever the 8th seed ends up being, whether that be Philadelphia, whether that's going to be Orlando, whether that's going to be the Miami Heat, whether that's going to be Charlotte, I think all those teams have a chance to beat Detroit in the first round. And so talk about pressure. That's going to be pressure on the number 1 seed that everybody's been giving them props. So, we're not caring that they overachieved at this point. They're the number 1 seed and they get beat by an 8th seed. That's all we're going to see. And that's pressure. So a team like Charlotte Hornets, they have nothing to lose. A team like the Miami Heat, they have a chip on their shoulder. They have the talent that hasn't been together the whole season, but they will be when they play in the playoffs. Same thing with the Orlando Magic, and the same thing with the Philadelphia 76ers. So those teams have better superstars across the board. Their rosters are deeper. Their players are more trustworthy, have been battle-tested in several playoff matchups. All those teams I just named except for the Hornets. But the Hornets have nothing to lose, and they have talent, and they have shooting. And in that case, that's Detroit's weakness. During this whole time when Detroit has been wading the water and just kind of treading water, it's really the shooting that's going to come down to. And in a playoff series, you're going to go back to old habits, and ultimately you're either a good shooting team or a bad shooting team. And Detroit's a bad shooting team. All those things I just named are very good shooting teams, and they will challenge Detroit. And I think ultimately you have Cade Cunningham. Yes, he's healthy right now, but we don't know what his wind is going to be every 48 hours. And with the whole pneumothorax could reoccur. I'm taking that out the equation. I think just matchups alone, Detroit may not get out, and I agree with AM. They may not even get out of the first round. And then if Cleveland is there waiting for them, they're not going to beat Cleveland. I know exactly. Cleveland, James Harden, Donovan Mitchell. Like James Harden doesn't have to be James Harden like previous times where he didn't achieve what he was supposed to achieve. He has Donovan Mitchell, who has to be that number 1 guy.
All right, fellas. So are you ready to move on,
Rick.
Dwight, or you got more? All right, Dwight, go ahead.
Hold on, Rick.
All right, let's go.
All my cousin has said is the Celtics know that the Knicks can beat them, and that Detroit is not going to beat Cleveland. Can you please give us some context? You haven't said anything.
I just gave you the context. They don't shoot well. They don't shoot well. They rely too much on Cade. They're going to go back to bad habits. The game's going to slow down, and they're not going to be able to keep up with people that have nothing to lose. Detroit has all the pressure. The Knicks don't have the pressure.
Who has all the pressure?
Everybody's counting them out. Everybody's counting the Knicks out from January. The Knicks have been counted out. Everybody's saying
justifiably
Detroit.
Phil. Justifiably
okay, so that's my point. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Those 4 teams I just named you, Philadelphia, Orlando, Miami, and the Hornets can beat Detroit in the first round. And you guys
and all
know
of those
basketball.
Teams, and all of those
know
teams, that. And all of those teams can beat the Knicks in a playoff series. And
yeah,
the
but
Knicks
they
know
got
that.
I'm not. Guess what? Cuz we're not even thinking about that. Because I really think that Cleveland is a solid opponent for all those teams I just named. And
that's fair.
And honestly, it's going to be the Knicks versus whoever wins out of that. We got to be one of those teams. And if it's Cleveland,
the Knicks,
so be it. But at that point, it's not going to be the Indiana Pacers that play at the highest pace, and that's a bad matchup for the Knicks last year. But in the Eastern Conference Finals, the Knicks, I'll actually take the Knicks over any of those teams I just named. But first round matchups can be tricky, and I just think Detroit's going to have
not against the Raptors.
No, I know that. That's what I'm trying to say. So we actually have a great matchup to get by Toronto, kind of watch what's going on. We had the whole week for the play-in tournament, all of that. We actually had the best road to answer the question, who goes farther. We had the best road to get to the finals, be rested, and not worry about those type of matchups. We're not scared. Like the Celtics are a perfect matchup for us. I'm telling you.
Perfect
It's Detroit
matchup.
we're worried about. Yes, it is. It is a perfect matchup because our wings match up well against the Celtics, and it showed that last year. And you guys don't
Anyway,
have Kristaps Porzingis walking out of that locker room. You don't have anybody
he didn't.
remotely close.
He didn't
You don't
walk
have
in the
anybody
locker
remotely.
room last year. He didn't play.
When he did play,
He
when he
didn't
did
play.
play, he actually was solid. He did play.
Okay.
He didn't miss games. He just wasn't playing a lot of minutes. But you guys are
Knicks
up
have-
20 and then lost that.
Don't say you guys. I'm not a Celtic fan.
Anybody
Don't
that's
say me.
anti-Nick, you're anti-Nick. So it's you guys. Anybody
No,
that
I'm
we
not
play, it's
anti-Nick.
you guys.
No.
You are anti-Nick because you're not
I
seeing
am
the
not
obvious
anti-Knicks.
as a person.
I'm just
All
trying
right, so
to bring.
Cuz, if you were the
I'm
coach,
trying to bring
how would
reality
you
to the
scout your
situation.
team? All right,
Huh?
I'm going to make you the Knicks coach right now. If you're a Knicks
Yes.
coach, how would you motivate your locker room to win this matchup?
Motivate.
What would you pull from?
Hey,
Yeah.
Jalen and Cat, win your matchups defensively. Cat, get your butt on the low block. If you do that, we have a chance to get to the championship.
You're saying all
End
the
of
stuff they're not going
discussion.
to do. They're not going to play defense. Cat's not going to low block. So
Oh, so that's a major problem.
you as a
Phil.
coach, yes, we would lose. Yes, you as a coach, we would lose. But anybody else, me as a coach,
fine.
we win. I know how to
That's
get
fine.
the best out of people.
No problem. No problem.
You'd be fired. I would fire you before the playoff season ends.
Phil, you know what?
Dwight's one and done in New York.
You'd be fired. Trust me.
Dwight is one and done
I'm
in
done
New
with
York. B-Dot, get in here. We need you, brother.
Yeah,
Tell us like it is.
Brandon Armstrong, a.k.a. B-Dot, dude, you came in on a hot one, bro. All right, so here's the question, B-Dot.
You don't even got to phrase it for me. You don't even got to phrase it for me, Rick. Listen,
Okay, go ahead.
The Knicks got all the pressure in the world. And while I say that, bro, let's be real. Come on now. If they lose, Cat's going. Mikal Bridges is going. Only person going to stay is OG. They're going to label Jalen Brunson as somebody that can't lead their team over anywhere. And I think Jalen Brunson is a top 6 point guard in the game. So there's no pressure on the Pistons. Why, Phil? Because like you said this a couple episodes ago, they have no experience. So why is there pressure on them? And plus, Cage had a collapsed lung. So now that's a perfect excuse for the Pistons to lose and not have no type of negative feedback towards them. Well, Cage just had a collapsed lung 2 weeks ago. So what can we really expect? Yes, baby. It's too loud. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, I'm too loud.
No, you're
Thank
not.
you, baby. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. He was like, you just
Hey,
hot
Phil, you
there.
got a Knicks fan right here, Phil. You got a Knicks
love
fan.
it. I
But
love it.
I feel as though that the pressure is more on the Knicks because of they have so many, good and potentially great players. And it's really, I don't think the Celtics is an easy matchup for them. Why? Because who's Cat going to guard? He's going to have to guard Jason Tatum. They like to go small. And like you just said, Cat don't like to go on the block. So he's not going to take advantage of that. Cat want to catch that thing at the, not even a high post. He want to catch it at the top of the key of the three-point line. Hold it out right here. Think he's Jokic and make these crazy type passes instead of just putting his head down and being the big beast that we know he can be and take advantage of it. So I feel as though that more pressure on the Knicks. The Pistons have no pressure now because of K's injury. And yeah, we go from there. I'm not arguing with you, Doc. I'm not arguing. Pressure means they have to win.
No.
They gotta win, man.
What does pressure make? Pressure makes diamonds.
But pressure also brushes pipes. They also bust.
Exactly.
They also
we
bust
ain't no
pipes.
pipes. And that's what happened to Celtics. Celtics got busted last year.
No, Achilles got busted. That pressure that you're talking about busted the Achilles. Yes, it wasn't. No, listen, no.
We're up 3-1.
Yes. Okay, you can be up 3-1. You can be up 3-1 all you want, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. But it's all about what you guys do this year. It's all.
Who goes
What
farther?
question?
You think Pistons? You picking the Pistons to go to the finals, or the Celtics or the Knicks?
I already told you I got the Celtics. I told you when Jason Tatum came back, my whole pedigree for the Pistons changed because when Jason Tatum wasn't there, I was on the Pistons bandwagon. And
I
now,
agree with that.
then, and you, yep, and I'm honest with it. And K just had a collapsed lung. I'm not about to put what I don't know what percentage he is. He played 22 minutes last game, 13 points, 6 for 11. Like I don't know. I don't know what they owe. And I'm not
So what
worried
about
about
Tatum?
the Cavs.
So what about Tatum?
The
You're not worried about Tatum's recovery?
Heck no.
You're
Heck
not
no.
worried about
Tatum is looking
Tatum's
beautiful.
healing Achilles.
Nope.
He's going to play
Nope.
40
Because he already
minutes when
had
he
one
needs
triple
to.
double. Yep, because he's playing 40 minutes in the regular season when he don't need to.
You drop
He's
triple
already
doubles all the
doing
time.
40.
That's not hard.
Nope.
That's not hard.
No. Jokic drops triple doubles all the time, and he has a high usage. Now my daughter's fighting. Now you got my daughter's fighting now, Doc. But at the end of the day,
They with me, man. They with me.
I think the Celtics are gonna take
Can we
it.
get a
Celtics
versus?
are going to
Can we
the
get
finals.
a B-Dot versus daughters? Can we get like a picture with them and their versus?
Come on now. But yeah, that's Let me go handle this. Y'all gonna put 2 other people on now. That's my take.
B-Dot, you the man.
And it just got X-rated.
We'll get B-Dot back, man. Oh my gosh. Okay, absolutely fantastic stuff. Let's I want Jason and Kai, put that comment up that dapped you guys up for the versus thing. I want to read that. It was up just a second ago. Hey, we shout you all out. We love you guys. Yeah, from Alpha right here. Hey, chat, like the versus graphic thrown up there by the producer. Want to shout out Jason Arambulo and Kai Joseph sit behind our glass. They're absolutely fantastic. And so just wanted to give them a quick shout out. And we love y'all out there. All right, let's keep it Knicks, but let's change it up a bit. Would Giannis lead the Knicks to a title in 2027? Would Giannis lead the Knicks to a title in 2027? Here's the setup. Some big developments here. Giannis informed the Bucks that the Knicks are the only team he would consider playing for, aside from Milwaukee. Meeting in Greece last July, the Knicks became that only team that he would play for. The Bucks refused to move him. Antetokounmpo wanted to give the new roster a chance. His pledge did not last long, according to Shams Charania. Also, Jake Fisher reports, Doc, you'll like this, playing in Madison Square Garden and ending the Knicks championship drought is something that is very appealing to Giannis. Okay, Knick Nation, get excited or not. But that's the debate here. So here we go again with the Giannis to New York stuff, which is only going to pick up steam as we approach the draft. Dr. X, you first, my friend. Would Giannis lead the Knicks to a title in 2027? Are you ready to put a flag in that mountain?
Yes, I am. Obviously, everybody's gonna say, well, we don't know what they're gonna have to give up. We're not gonna know if he's just gonna sign there. How the salary is gonna work. This, that, the other. My thing is, Jalen Brunson and Giannis are 2 players that are, I would say, generational talents, but who are 2 number ones. I know Giannis is not technically, at the peak of his powers, but that said, that's still 27-9, right? And so I'll take that and that mentality. The mentality is everything. And I believe you were saying, Rick, yeah, but the closer is still going to be Brunson. Giannis is used to that. Giannis is used to that in essence of, like, he was always deferring to Chris Middleton in the closing minutes because, number one, he's not a great free throw shooter. Number 2, he's not a great jump shooter. And so, he would likely get fouled if he was just going to the final basket anyway. But Giannis is going to do his damage all game. He's going to be a factor. He's going to be a distraction so that teams can't just like double up on Jalen Brunson. It'll be a disaster. And so depending on who they keep will be the biggest thing. But I trust Leon Rose to actually put the right players around them, around those 2. So if we have those 2 out there, I'm pretty confident that our chances of not only getting to the finals, but actually winning it will be great, because Giannis also gave, I know it's a very small sample size and prior study is probably lacking, but Giannis in the cup matchup when he had Damian Lillard and they beat OKC, I just don't think there's a matchup for Giannis on OKC. The same way there's no matchup for Victor Wembanyama against OKC, because Chet just can't D both of those guys. He can't D those guys. And so I just feel like Brunson will get his numbers, but easier, and then no one's guarding Giannis. So it just really will give them a good base that I like to surround those players with, because now you can really say, okay, who fits now? You know what I mean? And hopefully we keep players like a Josh Hart, because he has that same mentality as a Giannis. Hopefully we're able to keep a player either or. I'm not sure if we can keep both. but like either OG versus Mikal, or I'd rather keep OG, obviously. And if Cat, I'm not sure how that would work, but if it's not Cat, at least we're getting some other shooters, some more gritty players. Maybe finally get our guy Sadiq Bey. I think that would be a great, maybe there's some other players that are shooters that play really well in that system that could actually be, 3-and-D type of guys. So I'd be confident that we'd get to the finals, but I also believe with Brunson and Giannis, that's a winning matchup to win in a finals matchup as well.
So Alpha's asking, how would the trade work? Kind of tough to answer that right now, but what I can tell you is this: you got to match the money. And so the Knicks would have to send, like an OG and a Mikal for a Giannis, or maybe Hart's involved with that. The Knicks, I'm sure, would love to move Cat out, keep the defenders, but Milwaukee's on record saying they don't want Cat. So I think the pieces are there. The Knicks do have draft capital as well. I just don't know exactly how that looks. But this isn't one of those like fantasy trades that like has no reality or realism to it at all. There is realism to these teams stroking a trade here. I want to go to B-Dot here. B-Dot, while you were away, Giannis has said the Knicks are the only team that he wants to play for aside from Milwaukee. And so that's kind of bubbling up again here. If he goes to the Knicks, B-Dot, will he lead the Knicks to a title next year? Yes or no?
I don't think so. I think they have a great chance, but it depends on who all is surrounded. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Knicks are the throwback Toronto Raptors when they couldn't get past LeBron. They couldn't get past LeBronto. They kept getting to that conference finals and they couldn't get past. Go ahead, go get Kawhi. Just go ahead and go get Kawhi, y'all. Call it a day. Go get Kawhi. Because when Kawhi healthy, that boy, he a top 5 player. The things he doing with that LA Clippers team is crazy. It's amazing for him to still put up these numbers. I don't even want to say amazing because he really ain't played that many games. But from the injuries he's doing, go get Kawhi, bring him over to the East. You feel me? We know the East is wide open, and let's see what happens. I don't know who you give up for. You're gonna have to give up OG, give him Mikal, bring Kawhi and Ben Mathurin, and keep Cat. And I think that'll push y'all over the edge. Giannis, y'all gonna have to give up a lot. You feel me? And like I love Sadiq Bey. He hasn't failed me once on my parlay. So that's another reason why I love that guy. He's the most consistent player on that Pelicans team, and he can score on that block. He on that block more than Cat is. So hopefully, if y'all do get him Cat to take some pages out of his book. And come on now, like go back to them Kentucky days when Calipari wouldn't let you shoot threes at all. So I don't know if I think Giannis would take him over the edge with the correct pieces, but Giannis and them dismantling that whole team, I think it's conference finals and that's it. And that's it. I would love to see how him and Brunson will mesh. Will it be similar to him and Dame? Because Dame learned how to play that point guard role more as the season got going on. You've seen him start averaging 8+ assists, something we haven't really seen from Dame because he had to be the primary scorer. So, and we already know Brunson can distribute when he wants to. Brunson has plenty 9+ assist games this year. So I would love to see that and what pieces they build around them. But all in all, it just depends on what pieces are around them for them to be successful and going to the finals.
AM Pfeffer, does Giannis get the Knicks all the way to the finals and a victory next year, a championship Willis Reed style, or not?
I mean, what a loaded question. It's hard to say, right? I mean, you're talking about the finals, the paramount, the zenith of it all, right? Like if anybody said back in 2015, the 73-win, Warriors, obviously, when you tell me that they won a championship, they beat Cleveland and they had 73 wins, then it's like KD's coming. Is KD going to come in and lead them to the championship back to back? Yes. Yeah. I mean, like that's an easy answer, right? This is Giannis going to come into the Knicks, and we have no idea what the trade's going to look like, who else is coming in and who's going out, other than we know Sadiq Bey is coming. By the way, your birthday, I believe, is early June. I'm getting you a New York Knicks Sadiq Bey jersey.
I don't know about that.
I'm getting it made now. I'm putting it together.
Is it too random?
He's got to be on the team just for you.
I'd rather have my own name on the back of my jersey.
I like that too.
Okay.
You know what? I hope Sadiq Bey comes too. Will Giannis? Look, I would feel better as a Knicks fan having Giannis on the team and anybody else out. I've said this. I've been saying it since the beginning of the year. I still believe in Giannis. I still believe he's got 3 years left in him. I feel like he would want to be healthy. I feel like he would have that chip on his shoulder. I feel like he would be in New York, excited to play for the Garden and do everything it takes to make them a top 3 seed team in the East for the next 2 to 3 years, and that gives them just as good of a chance, at least in a 3-year window, to win. Will it happen immediately in 2027? I don't know. Way too much, way too loaded. We need to know who's in, who's out, where the money goes, and who else is coming, and who the coach is, quite frankly. As Dwight Walton has pointed out, this could be Mike Brown's one-and-done season. We don't know who's coming afterwards, and we sure as hell know it ain't going to be Doc Rivers after this. That's the only thing I can answer for you. If Giannis ends up on the Knicks. But that's it. So open-ended. I hate to say it. I can't stake my claim that he would do it, but I would feel better that he would be there and give them a better chance than the team they have now.
Dwight, you are next, my friend. And obviously we don't know the machinations of this, but people put Giannis on a pedestal. He's considered one of the greatest power forwards of all time. And so, all right, if he goes to the Knicks, I mean, is that just it? Time to schedule a parade or what?
I'll answer the question the same way AM did. It's a loaded question because we don't know who's going to be on the roster with Giannis. But what I do know is that Cat, Karl-Anthony Towns, and Giannis Antetokounmpo can't play together. Because all I see right now with Cat is him being frustrated and whining and complaining that he doesn't feel a part of the offense with Mike Brown right now. And that's only with Jalen Brunson as the number one option. So if you're to keep Brunson and keep Cat and bring it out to the Kumpo, where does that slot Karl-Anthony Towns? That being said, Giannis Antetokounmpo is the most flawed superstar that we currently have in the NBA. Doesn't shoot it well, doesn't shoot free throws well, and also he's a 32-year-old oft-injured superstar, and he's only going to get older. And it's a classic to me, be careful what you wish for, buyer beware situation. He's hurt. He's oft injured. He plays for Greece in the summertime. He doesn't rest. He loves to compete. The one thing he will do, he will give the fans an honest effort in every game that he plays, sometimes to his detriment. So you'd have to pretty much build the entire roster around Antetokounmpo to see his full repertoire or whatever he lacks to cover up for some of the deficiencies that he already has. So I can't really, first of all, no, they're not going to win a championship in 2027. It takes too long. Very few cases do you have a situation where a player is plugged in and they win. If Antetokounmpo was a free agent like Kevin Durant, okay, I might have a different conversation. But to acquire Antetokounmpo, you have to give up basically the entire roster. And there's no way the Knicks are going to win in 2027. All right, so it's a tough question for me to respond to. But either way, he's oft injured. He's 32 years old. He plays hard. He plays for Greece. He doesn't rest. I can't see them winning in 2027. Again, the Knicks better win it this year so we don't have this question. Otherwise, there's going to be a complete roster overhaul. It's coming. No question about it. I'll be very surprised if Mike Brown survives after this season, if he doesn't take the team further than where they're supposed to get this season. Antetokounmpo, buyer beware, everybody. He gets injured a lot. So be careful what you wish for.
Dwight,
right.
the only person you can plug in and win it has is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi going to send Kawhi and John Collins to the Knicks, Giannis and Kuzma to the Clippers, and Towns and Bridges to the Bucks. That worked. Giannis is somewhere shiny, bright in LA. It's an easier flight to Greece. Kawhi and John Collins over there with the Knicks. Come on, Phil. You wouldn't want Kawhi?
Oh, I want Kawhi.
I think they love Kawhi in New York.
He wants Kawhi with Giannis. You don't hear him?
Tough, though.
He wants Kawhi with Giannis. No kidding.
Why is it
selfish.
tough? You got Luka,
Selfish,
AR. You got Luka, AR, and LeBron. You got all these players got 3 people, so we just got to be struggling with Brunson.
You name one team.
Who overachieved.
You name one
Huh?
team. You name
No,
one
there's
team.
several
All these
teams.
teams got
There's
all these.
several teams.
Who?
Yeah,
I'm
the,
lazy
the
right
Big
now.
three,
three-headed
ain't no
I
big
box.
had
threes
a-
no
I
more.
had a
The
long
big
week.
threes ain't successful
I had
no
a
more.
long week.
Yeah, it doesn't.
You know
It's hard
what?
to- It's hard to
Here's
figure.
the deal, fellas. Here's the deal. I ultimately, and I said it at the deadline, and I'm gonna say it again. I know AM wants Antetokounmpo to ultimately end up in Chicago, and that's fine. But I think maybe a dark horse, a sleeper team. I think Antetokounmpo ultimately ends up in Houston with the Rockets. Send Alperen Sengun and somebody else. If it's Amen Thompson, if it's Reed Shepard, I don't know. But if Milwaukee is looking for a centerpiece, a young centerpiece to build around, and could get some draft capital as well, let Alperen Sengun be that centerpiece with Milwaukee, and Antetokounmpo goes to the Rockets. Don't sleep on it. I'm telling you. Don't sleep
Here's
on
what
it.
you're
no
saying,
way.
Dwight.
There is no way I'm trading Şengün for Giannis right now. To me, that
Exactly.
would be GM malpractice. You're giving up
Okay,
all those
that's fine.
years.
He has to end up
I mean,
somewhere.
Hey man, ask
Woo.
KD, ask Kevin Durant.
Based
He'll
off-
be down for
I ain't
it.
pay,
Based-
you guys. Şengün is mini Jokic, man. He's mini Jokic. I ain't
We
giving
gotta
that
stop
guy
saying
up.
that. We gotta stop saying that. We gotta stop saying
I
that.
agree.
I don't know about mini Jokic. He might be. He the floor of Jokic. He not. I don't want to say mini. Sengun cool,
He's
but
not even.
yeah.
He's not even diet Jokic. You can't give him that. He's not diet Jokic.
Nah, not
Diet
diet.
Jokic.
Nah, he might be Jokic zero. I give him Jokic zero. He Jokic zero. Jokic zero.
Okay. I like this
I love
class.
it.
Zero.
I love it.
Jokic
Yoke
zero.
That was
I
good.
can work
That was
with
good.
that. Dude,
That's amazing.
Dude, I'm
Need
literally, I'm drinking
Trademark
Mountain Dew
that
Zero right
immediately.
now. I can work with
Literally.
this.
Nah,
I can work
but
with
it's Yoke
Jokic
like
Zero.
Coke
I
Zero.
like that a lot.
Yoke Coke.
I
Yoke
like that a
Coke.
lot. Oh,
I
man, that's
got you,
hilarious.
I got
That
you.
is. LP,
Hey,
Dwight,
you
I
guys,
got you.
you guys can go and dismiss me as much as you want. When it happens, don't text me. Don't even talk to me.
Dwight, what you're pretty much saying is that you think that Giannis is a flawed superstar and that no one can win with him and he should just retire. That's what you're saying.
That's not what I
So
said.
what's the point?
That's not what I
Yeah,
said.
it is what you're saying because all of a sudden now he's like the
player.
missing piece.
He's a difficult
Well, which one is it?
player.
Okay,
He's
so
a difficult player to build a roster around. That's what it is.
But you think he fits in Houston? Is that what you're saying?
With Kevin
You think he
Durant,
fits in Houston?
absolutely.
So you think that team will win it all? You think they'll win it in 2027?
That's not what I said. I said.
Yeah. So what's the
it's a better
point?
fit.
What's the point?
It's a better fit
What's the point of suggesting where you think you should end up if you don't think they could win?
because he's
You're
a
just
better
playing
fit.
musical chairs.
He's not
a better fit. He's not a better fit. He doesn't want to play in Houston.
Okay, give
He
me a
wants
reason
to play
why,
in the great
Phil.
state of
Why
New
is he a
York,
better fit?
which is the
Why is he a
capital of the
better fit?
world.
Huh?
Repeat after me. New York is the capital of the world. Okay.
So what?
He knows what he's doing. He wants to.
So
he
what?
wants to live and play in New York. That's where he's going to be. That's what New Yorkers want. We want people that want to be
And
there.
if Jalen Brunson's his teammate, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose.
No, we have the best. We have
If
one of the most
Brunson's
clutch
his
players on the
teammate,
NBA.
they're gonna lose.
Brunson makes his money in the playoffs, and he's one of the most clutch players in the NBA.
If
Giannis'
Brunson's
job is
his
to make sure it's not
teammate,
even in.
They're gonna lose.
Okay, but I would say their window is bigger, Rick. That's my answer. Instead of 2027, I would say they win by 2028. It would take some time for them to build around them, get the right bench pieces. But I think you win if you have Giannis and Jalen Brunson in the starting lineup in New York City.
Yeah, I don't like this for the Knicks, and I want to get back on record with this. I've kind of talked about this. We don't know who would be going out, but let's say, okay, Mikal Bridges, obviously, Knick fans would want him out and stuff like that, and then maybe it's OG, maybe it's Hart, Kolek, and Mitch Rob. I don't know, okay, but the bottom line is y'all want Giannis so bad, okay. So what's going to happen if you get him? This is my take on it. They will not be better than Boston. They're not going to be better than OKC. They're not going to be better than San Antonio. And they're not going to be better than Denver, in my opinion, even if you get Giannis. So all of those teams are going to bleep block you from winning. So why make the deal? I don't see Giannis as this gigantic difference maker right now. I think Kevin Durant's more of a difference maker right now than Giannis Antetokounmpo is because of the skill level and the eruption ability and the mismatch that he creates. I would not do this deal. I think the Knicks need to walk away. Just because Giannis wants you doesn't mean that you have to want him back. Giannis is overrated at this point in his career. The resume's incredible, but the career arrow is trending down right now. He's 31. Next year will be age 32 season. He went from 30.4 points to 27.6. The drop-off is already happening. And I don't even know if Brunson and Giannis would clash or work. They're both ball-dominant guys. And does Brunson even really want to share that spotlight? I don't know. Maybe he does. But if I were the Knicks, I'd say thank you, but no thank you. Bucks, Giannis, you have your own problems, and I'm going to leave them to you guys to solve. We have a great guest right now. He's my buddy, Dante Marchitelli. He is an announcer with the Orlando Magic, play-by-play, sideline reporting, studio hosting, and a heck of a nice guy as well. So, ready? Let's bring in Dante Marchitelli. Let's go, baby. Welcome to Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network. How you doing, Dante?
All right. What's up, guys? Good to be with you. Thank you so much for the introduction. I'm excited to be here. Good catching up with you again, Rick. Good to see everybody. And this is great. This is great. I appreciate you having me on here.
Yeah, I love it. Your energy's awesome, Dante. Upper right-hand corner, Dwight Walton, Canadian basketball legend, played in the Olympics, played overseas for a long, long time. Brandon Armstrong, a.k.a. B-Dot, in the lower left, NBA impersonator, pro hooper, rapper, comedian, resident DJ at some club. I saw you on IG. Congrats on the residency, by the way, B-Dot.
Thank you. Casamigos.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir. And then in our LA studios,
Great to meet you guys. I'm honored to be on here with you guys. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And in our LA studio, to the right, wearing the Knicks gear, that is our patriarch, our creator, Dr. Phil McDonald. He's a sports medicine radiologist, entrepreneur, philanthropist, and the biggest Knicks fan. Doc, are you a bigger Knicks fan than Spike Lee?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he's going to take that.
I do a lot of work. I do a lot of work with Quentin Richardson, and he lives right down the road. And he always says, "Once a Nick, always a Nick." So I understand. I understand the Knicks loyalty.
Doc, you
that's right. That's right.
Tap the forehead a little bit. All right, and then A.M. Pfeffer, businessman, author, anchor. He is in our LA studios as well, fellas. Dante, fellas. Now Let's get into this. Dante, your team's kind of rolling right now. 4 in a row. Anthony Black is back. You've got Franz back. Like, this is the team that you guys wanted to leave the station with. So, Dante, just talk about, like, what's happening with the team right now. And I'm pretty sure you're going to have the stat on this. How many games has, like, this group played together? It's got to be a small amount, right?
Well, we've had Jalen Suggs, Franz Wagner, and Paolo Banchero for 13% of our games since the start of last year. So you're talking 2 seasons where we've had the core three as we envisioned. Then you add Desmond Bane. You got to go back to December 7th was the last time we had Franz Wagner in the starting lineup and Anthony Black off the bench with Bane, with Banchero, with Jalen Suggs. And it was that game in New York against your Knicks where, unfortunately, Franz Wagner, we thought might have been lost for the year when he took that nasty tumble. And then we found out high ankle sprain and tried to come back a couple of times. But you're right, Rick. It is clicking right now at this time, and it's not like these guys have been hurt all year and we're just getting them back now. And it's not like they've been playing all year and we're just getting them back and they've been bad. We have not had these guys, and they're coming back at the right time. So now you start thinking, okay, you just got Franz Wagner back. He's been back 4 games. You just got Anthony Black back 2 games. Those guys could be fresh heading into the postseason, possibly, right? Because they've had some rest as they've rehabbed from these injuries. And now you're thinking, okay, well, could they possibly be a scary team when you get to the postseason? There's still a path. It feels like we're waiting on the returns from Minnesota. It feels like the election, right? When you're waiting, there is a path for this team to avoid the play-in, potentially to avoid the play-in. In B5 or maybe even 6 here in the Eastern Conference could get your Knicks, could potentially see if they get up to 5 even possibly and play Cleveland. So they're getting healthy at the right time, and they seem to be clicking. They're moving, they're sharing the basketball, and it's been fun to watch, at least the last 4 for sure.
Let's go to Dr. X here. Dr. X, So the lay of the land in the East right now, Orlando's in 7th, but they're a half game behind Toronto. The Raptors have 3 games left. The Magic have 2 games left. So it might be Knicks and Magic 3-6 in round 1. Doc, go ahead.
Well, I want to say the Magic are a very good team. I think, they kind of remind me of the Miami Heat as well, because they just haven't had all their starters and all their star players at the same time. So I think most teams, not that any team is ducking smoke, wouldn't want to see Orlando in the first round. I don't think Detroit wants to see Orlando, and I don't think Boston wants to see Orlando. Now, I think they could beat anybody in the East in a playoff matchup. As you know, it's a whole different series. It's a whole different game. It's all about matchups. But I like that Orlando plays hard-nosed defense. They have a lot of wings that are talented, in addition to Desmond Bane. And then, the ascension of Anthony Black. Right. And then you have Suggs, who is a hard-nosed defender. I actually like their chances against anybody in the East. But what do you think is their chances? I mean, I know you're going to say all the right things because you're an Orlando Magic guy. But what do you think is their strengths, and what do you think are the Orlando Magic's weaknesses going into the playoffs?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. The Magic went 0-4 against Atlanta. Like, Atlanta would be a nightmare matchup, right? Because just the way they shoot the basketball. They went, not that that would be your first-round matchup, but there are teams that we just don't match up great against. Charlotte, the way Charlotte shoots the basketball. Charlotte, the last couple of months, has caught fire. The Magic played Cleveland 2 years ago in the playoffs, took them to Game 7. That was a close game. That was a close series. Now you add James Harden. So they're all tough matchups. There isn't any team that'll sit here and tell you, boy, I want to play one of those top 4 teams in the East. It's just you don't want that, but you understand. Yeah, no, I don't think. I disagree. But I think that's that those top 4 are so good. But I do think there's an opportunity for some surprises. As good as Detroit is, you're just getting Cade Cunningham back, and a lot of those guys kind of haven't been through it yet, right? They haven't gone. Tobias Harris has, but this is going to be new for a lot of those guys, the young guys on that roster. It feels like there's huge expectations for Cleveland and New York, right? It feels like this is the year that those two teams got to get to an Eastern Conference Finals, if not an NBA Finals. And then Boston is, they're just rolling right now too. So it's not going to be easy for anybody. Nobody wants to play either of those 4 teams. So the mantra for this Magic team right now is just to win, take it day by day. Last week, they thought they were going to be relegated to the 9-10 matchup. Now you catch fire, you're getting healthy, you're playing guys, and now you're 7th. And now you look, and if you can get some help, you could possibly get out of the play-in. And I think that's all they're looking at right now. Let the chips fall where they may, but could we possibly get out of the play-in? Or if you got to play 7-8, could we host that matchup? And then you just gotta prepare for a fight from there.
All right, Dwight Walton, come on in here and mix it up a little bit with the great Dante Marchitelli of the Orlando Magic.
Yes, Dante. Early in the Celtics journey, the duo of Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, there were question marks as to whether those two can get it done together. Now, my question to you is the dynamic with Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. It's early in this journey as well, but I think the Magic should keep those two together going forward because I think they can produce magic going forward. Do you see a similarity between the Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum duo in regards to Franz and Paolo going forward?
Yeah, I love that. I love that because the ones that want to detract from what Orlando is doing is saying, well, you've got 2 guys at the same position and they do similar things, but you need both of those guys. They both complement each other. They both work so well together. And then with the addition of Desmond Bane, and now you've added some shooting. Yes, absolutely. Those two can win together. We saw it 2 years ago. When this team was healthy, they won 47 games. They were 1 game out of 4th, 1 game out of hosting a first-round matchup 2 years ahead of schedule. We know how it looks, and that was without Desmond Bane. That was without the players that they've added since then. So I think, yes, these 2 players can work so well. They're the same size. They both handle the basketball, but their games are so much different. And Franz is an unbelievable defensive player. He's so crafty with the basketball. He can score left, right, similar to Paolo. I think the 3-point shot is probably the next evolution for both of them for their games. Got to be able to bring the defense out beyond the perimeter. But Paolo Banchero can put his head down. There's very few guys that can guard him one-on-one in this league. He can get past anybody with his size. Franz is a little more finesse, and Paolo is brute strength. But these two guys have come so far from their first year in the NBA, and we see it on a nightly basis. And if you have to double team one of them, then the other guy has single coverage, and he's going to pick you apart. So I am a firm believer that these two can work together, just because I've seen it. I've seen it work so well here the last 4 years.
All right, let's go to B-Dot. B-Dot, you're ready. What's up, man? Dante Marchitelli is here at your service. B-Dot.
How you doing, Dante, man? Great to have you on the show. I'm an Atlanta native. I went to rivalry high schools with Dwight Howard. We were just in a celebrity game at Luke Air Force Base out here last week. And my question is, you were there for that prime of Dwight Howard run in Orlando. How do you feel about his level of respect there in Orlando? Do you know if they plan to retire his jersey? And do you feel as though he gets overlooked as being, one of the greats that played in Orlando? Of course, he didn't win a championship, but that 7 years All-Star led you guys to the finals, and just that dominance in general.
Well, I'll tell you this. He's on the Magic Mount Rushmore. There's no question about that. He's one of the greatest Magic players to ever put on a uniform. He should have been in the top 75 when they did the top 75 rankings, and we can have this conversation. I hate arguing it too much, because then you got to take away from somebody. But, Anthony Davis makes it, and I think he took Dwight Howard's spot, in my opinion. I think Dwight Howard belonged in the top 75. But, you can certainly look at AD's numbers and make that case as well. We love Dwight Howard here in Orlando. He forced his way out. He didn't want to be here after a certain amount of time, but that's the business. We understand how that goes. At the end of the day, he played here 9 years. He took this team to the NBA Finals, took him back to the Eastern Conference Finals the next year. I go to work every year in the Kia Center in a building that we might not have if Dwight Howard never came to Orlando. There was talks about this team. Where do we go, right? What do we do? We need a new building. Could they possibly relocate? We didn't know what we were looking at. But the success and everybody seeing this community, how good he was and what he meant for this town, got that deal done, with a lot of work over a couple of years. He's a quality individual. He's got a big heart, too big at times, because he is very accepting of everyone. And sometimes that burns you. We've seen that here in his journey. But he's a terrific character. I got to go up there to the Basketball Hall of Fame when he was inducted. There was a lot of us from the Magic organization that went to celebrate with him, because he means so much to us. So we saw it up close and personal. He was a problem. I would say for about 7 or 8 years, he was the most dominant big in the NBA. And that's a tenth of the NBA's history, where he was the best big and he was the most dominant. So we have nothing but good things to say about Dwight and what he meant. And there is no doubt at some point that 12 is going to hang in the rafters. No question about it.
I agree.
Put that prime Dwight with this level of centers that we have in today's game, with the Jokic, the Wemby, and the Embiids all healthy. Where is Dwight ranking right now with these great centers that we see in today's games?
Well, you're right. And you guys know this, because you have these, if he came up now, he'd have had to come up different, right? He'd have probably been a little more offensively polished and all that, but he was a problem. He just put his head down, got to the rim, and could dunk on anybody. Defensively, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, 3 in a row. Yeah. This guy would have made it a nightmare for any one of those guys, and they would have hated going against Dwight. And he was a lob threat, running to the rim, grabbed every rebound, blocked every shot. I mean, he would have been able to hold his own, and he would have been as dominant now as he is then. Very few centers guard now, so he would have been able to roll to the rim whenever he wanted to. And I think he would have been. I think he would have matched up just fine with anybody. And I think we saw it a little bit with him defending Jokic in the playoffs when he was still playing, but that wasn't prime Dwight. Prime Dwight could guard anybody 1 through 5.
Agreed.
I appreciate that, Dante. Thank you for that insight, man.
You bet.
Yeah,
of course.
You think of like Jalen Duren right now, right? Huge, hulking guy. His shoulders are as wide as the free throw lane.
Good point.
And he's like 18 and 11 or whatever, all-star. Terrific player. Dwight Howard, like, if you just take 2008 Dwight Howard and just drop him here right now, he's better than Jalen Duren. Okay? Like, and I like Jalen Duren.
Taller,
That's not a slight.
And taller.
And taller. Right. So I'm just saying, I There's no doubt in my mind that Dwight could flourish in today's NBA. Okay, let's go to AM Pfeffer. We have Dante Marchitelli of the Orlando Magic with us here on Beyond the Surface. Go ahead, AM.
Dante, great to meet you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I want to talk about a couple unsung heroes on the Orlando Magic, I think, that have been holding down the fort with all these injuries. And there's a couple of guys who've really done a very good job. And I'm curious to hear what you think their impact is going to be heading into the playoffs. And I'm talking, of course, about Wendell Carter Jr., the great Knick killer, for better or for worse. And of course, the Colorado Buffalo, Tristan da Silva. I mean, these are two double-digit scorers. Wendell Carter Jr., I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, he's a 12 and 7.5 guy on average for the year. And these guys have been putting in the work. They've already hit 74, 75 games. So their durability is there. What do you expect their impact is going to be as the rest of the team gets healthy, and maybe you do end up the 5 or 6 seed?
Well, I love that. We talk about unsung heroes, and we talk about guys that have been kind of holding the fort down. You hear guys like Anthony Black and things like that. But you're right. Tristan da Silva and Wendell Carter Jr. Don't get the credit that they deserve. And Wendell's one of those. We just call him the dirt worker. He shows up every day. He straps on his shoes and he goes out there and goes to work. And he doesn't get all the credit, but he sets the hard screens. He grabs the hard rebounds. He defends the Jalen Durans of the world. He takes those shots to the chest and the head, and he's in there battling every night against all the other bigs in the NBA. So yes, he's a guy that behind the scenes is at the very core of what we do. Defensively, him anchoring that unit allows Jalen Suggs to go out there and play free and to roam and try to get steals and get out in transition, to hound the opposing point guard and to be the head of the snake on the defensive end, because you've got that anchor back there. He's the number one clutch rebounder in the NBA. So to your point, when the game is on the line, he has found a way to help his team that way. You don't draw plays for him. You don't give him the basketball, tell him to go to work on the low block, but he's got more clutch second chance points than any player in the NBA by like 10. It's unbelievable. He's found a way to get big rebounds. He goes to the free throw line, and he's been huge for this team down the stretch, and he's one of our best defensive players. And he's the guy calling out all the shots back there defensively. Tristan da Silva has grown so much from last year to this year, and a big part of that is, playing for Team Germany in Eurobasket, winning the gold medal, getting that experience and all that expertise. He's averaging about 13, 14 points a game in the games that he started. But he's one of the best three-point shooters. He's just so solid. He very seldom gets beat defensively. He doesn't turn it over. He doesn't make mistakes. And as you guys know, when you're heading into the postseason, it's all about possessions. You want to get as many possessions as you can, but you can't give up possessions. And he doesn't turn the basketball over. He's as reliable a guy as there is, and he's become much more he's grown so much on the offensive end with his ability to put it on the floor, take guys off the dribble, his post moves. So we think the world of Tristan da Silva. High basketball IQ. And never gets rattled. You could be down 10 or up 100, and he is the same mellow guy, which I give him a ton of credit for. So, yeah, another Colorado Buffalo. He's playing great, and those are two guys that, you just didn't Tristan da Silva, Goga Batadze, these guys were all out of the rotation last year going into the playoffs. Think about that. You didn't have Jalen Suggs, and you didn't have, you just didn't have the health that you needed. Now those guys are going to get a chance. They're a big part of the rotation, and they're going to be a big part of what we do.
Hey, Dante,
go ahead, Dwight.
Dante, you talk about the rotation of the bigs. Can you please talk about Mo Wagner, his contribution? What does he bring to the table for the Magic? Especially, I think it's no coincidence for me that you spoke about the 13% when they played together, talk about Desmond Bane, Franz Wagner, and Paulo Banchero. I think Mo Wagner's absence played a big role in the lack of success for the Magic. I think it's no coincidence, since he's come back to the lineup, that the Magic are now on the uptick and they're gaining momentum as they go into the Eastern Conference playoffs.
Listen, we love Mo Wagner. Mo Wagner he's an irritant. He is an absolute irritant when he gets out there on the floor. He instantly is under the skin of whoever is on the opposing team. And me for one, I would love to see that play out on the Madison Square Garden stage. I really would. Get out there with Karl Anthony Towns or Mitchell Robinson, or he drew the ire of everybody in the state of Ohio when we played the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he didn't need to say anything. Just by going to Michigan, he was already ticked off all those Ohio State fans. But just the way he plays and how scrappy he is and how physical he is. He's about a point a minute, when he's out there on the floor, which is incredible to me. But he's steady. He holds his own. it's been hard for him coming back from this injury, trying to find steady minutes and trying to find exactly where he can have his imprint. But we know Mo's going to be a big part of this. He takes charges. He can knock down threes. He takes people off the dribble. He's got so many moves offensively. But they call him swag. I mean, he just walks around with he exudes so much swagger and gives so much confidence to whoever he's on the floor with. He's just a critical part of this thing. And now he's got even more swag because his Wolverines are national champions. So it's almost too much. It's almost too much. But we love him. We love Mo Wagner here in Orlando, no question.
Hey, Dante, so I was down there with Reggie Theus with SiriusXM NBA Radio. Interviewed Paulo, Cole, Jalen, Jamal, and one of my questions was, who's the biggest smack talker on the team? And I want to say, that was, I don't know, 4 years ago. I'm pretty sure they said Mo Wagner. Is that true? Is he the biggest, maybe best trash talker on the Magic?
Yeah, to me, there's no question. I mean, our guys don't say a whole lot, but so we had Joe Ingles in the building last year. Joe Ingles played for the Magic for 1 year. They went to him in the post, he scored on him, and then he went right to rocking the baby. Right, he turned right, looked right at Joe Ingles right in the face, and they had a fun moment. Yeah, no, he is a special guy. He loves that, and that's what gives him an edge. He used to have a sign in his locker that he would look at right before he went out before every game, and it said, "Stay salty. Stay salty. In case you forget, I need to go out there and be salty." That's what got me here, right? Now, he's harnessed it a lot, so, it used to just come in any moment, and sometimes it would hurt you. He'll be the first one to tell you, pick up a tech or foul somebody, put him to the free throw line. But he's harnessed that, and he's figured out how it works for him. And, yeah, we love it. Our guys, we have guys that aren't too loud out there on the floor, but you can certainly hear when he's out there. Goga. Now, Goga, don't sleep on Goga either. He can hold hose own out there.
Yeah, I want, Goga and Luka. We need Dana White to set up an event with a cage for those guys. Last question for me, Dante, and it's a bit loaded here. I want to go back to Berlin. You know where I'm going with this. Eddie Black detonating on an entire roster. So, guys, play it over and over and over and over and over. Dante, I know, you're probably biased, but this is the dunk of the year in the NBA, right?
No, there's no question. There's no question. And being there in that building, watching it live, we didn't realize there were 4 guys there. We knew there was 2, but look at that. I've never seen anything like that. The last 2 guys jumping into the picture is my favorite. They had no chance, but they just got themselves in the poster. It was amazing, and he didn't see anybody. Anthony, he didn't know till the game was over what he did. He said, I saw one guy in front of me, and I thought I just got around him. He had no idea the other 3 were there. But then you immediately saw the reaction of the bench and the fans, and everybody in Berlin just exploded. Yeah, that was incredible. Brought people off their chair. And, I mean, look at Jaren Jackson Jr., one of the best shot blockers in the NBA. And you'll see him stare and look at Vince Williams because he thought he just got one guy. Didn't realize he had 3 others. In my opinion, yes, that would be the dunk of the year.
And you know what's really tragic? Jaren Jackson Jr. now plays for the Utah Jazz. So we're never going to see him play again. We're never going to see him play in the NBA again. When's the last time you saw? The last time I saw Lauri Markkanen play, he was in Cleveland. Okay, anyway, anybody else have a question for Dante before we let him go?
No, I just got one more thing to say. Listen, Dante, I'm very familiar with the Central Florida area. As you can see by my shirt, I attended Florida Tech. Yeah, I was there for 4 years. Had a very great career there. So I'm very aware of that area. I was in Orlando a lot back in my younger days. So I just want to shout out the area, shout out where you're at right now. I had a pretty good time for 3 years of my life in Central Florida.
Well, I appreciate that, D, and I know everybody here in Central Florida would say the same thing. It's a special place, and they rally around this team. But it's a very welcoming community we've got about 30 or 40 former Magic players that retired here. This is where they keep their family. We've got so many NFL and NBA and Major League Baseball players that have retired here, and it's a great place to raise a family. It's an unbelievable community, and yeah, Florida Tech, baby, that's special to us all here in Central Florida, and that's great to hear. You can appreciate it, you can understand what this community means, and why it's why I came down for spring break in '98 and never left. That's why I'm still here.
There you go. That's a good reason.
That's so cool.
That's right.
Yeah, I've had my fair days at Cocoa Beach now. I'm very
There you go, Dot. Yes, sir.
I'm an Orlando guy. Yep, Atlanta, 6-hour drive. Yep, UCF. I was there
quick. You get down here quick. That's right. You get down here quick.
Dante, I'm not just saying this because you're here. My two favorite kind of like sleepy cities in America, and I say that affectionately, right? But like not the bigger cities, Austin, Texas, and Orlando, Florida. I love both of those cities. They don't need to be anything more than they are, right? I know Austin's exploding and stuff. I don't want Orlando to explode. Let's keep Orlando funky, right the way it is. Anyway, Dante, if you guys are in the play-in tournament, I don't know how this is going to go. I will be seeing you next week for one of the games, whenever that is, and maybe even for a playoff series here down the road. But I'll be back in the arena next week or the week following. And Dante, really appreciate you, man. You're an awesome guy. You're an absolutely beast announcer. Congrats on all your success. Thanks so much for being here, man. And we'll keep watching on TV, okay?
You too, Rick. I always appreciate catching up with you. You're the man. So great meeting you guys. Keep up the great work. This is awesome.
Likewise.
You guys are awesome.
Thank
We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you very much, Dante. Thank you.
Appreciate it, Dante. Just a killer guy. Just an absolutely killer guy. Okay, let's continue, guys, with the debate parade here. We have more on the Milwaukee Bucks, and I want to kind of do a rapid round thing on these. They're not super deep dives, but I think they're fun topics. So let's put a 60-second timer on this one. So first of all, we got to ask the question about Doc Rivers. Okay, Doc Rivers is in the news, and he's this like lightning rod coach. There aren't very many lightning rod coaches. He's one of them. I love Doc Rivers. But here's the question. Was Doc Rivers wrong to tell his team to Google him? Okay. Was Doc Rivers wrong to tell his team to Google me? I've seen a bunch of different opinions on this. Now it's our turn. Here's a little setup for you guys. Bucks players and Doc Rivers apparently can't stand each other. Okay. During a film session, Doc Rivers called out Ryan Rollins and Kevin Porter Jr. for their selfish play style. Kyle Kuzma spoke up and stood up for his teammates. Doc Rivers and his coaching staff then benched Kuzma in the next game. Ha ha, Cartman style, okay? Bobby Portis, my guy, erupted at his teammates during a Bucks practice earlier this season, saying, and I quote, "This is why we suck. We carry ourselves like everything is fine, and we have no effing energy or urgency. We just lost by 45. Everybody's body language is terrible. No one is listening to the coaches." End quote from Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis for the win. All this drama and disrespect caused Doc Rivers to go deep into his bag for this one. Shams Charania says, Doc said to the Bucks during a team meeting in early March, literally about a month ago to the day, quote, "Look at my resume. Google me. I took teams to the playoffs and championship that weren't supposed to be there. I thought this was one of them." You see what Doc did right there? He said, "It ain't me. I'm not the problem. Your bums are the problem." Okay? Boom. Mic drop moment. And now we debate. Dr. X, you first. Was Doc Rivers wrong to play the Google me card?
I would have to hear what was said before that. I think he said it in defense. He might have felt attacked. You should never have to say that. People should just know who you are. He knows they know who he is, and if they keep up, I think what it is it's a generational thing. It seems like all the people that had his back were older. Portis knows what his value is. And it seemed like the younger guards were having some issues and weren't just listening to coaching and weren't being humble enough to be taught or to be led. It sounds like it's out of character for Doc Rivers, but I think he probably was in his right to say it because he was probably being challenged too often and probably for several years. And plus they're having a bad season. So I think it was out of frustration. But he definitely does have the resume, and he was just probably reminding him, and that was probably his way of saying it. So I don't have a problem with it, but I'd rather him lead with, try to lead with humility and strength rather than leading with that. But I think it was a rebuttal in response.
Makes a ton of sense, Doc. I love it. B-Dot, you're next, man. Was Doc Rivers wrong to play the Google Me card?
Hell no, he wasn't wrong. Okay, Doc been getting hell for the last 15 years. Okay, ever since he won that championship with the Celtics. First of all, these three boys, they ain't done nothing in the league. Okay, Ryan Rollins, he's still wiping his butt with baby wipes. Okay, Kevin Porter Jr., he just got back in the league, and Kyle Kuzma, bro, you ain't proved nothing since you won that bubble championship with the Lakers. Okay, they traded you off so you can do your own thing, and you ain't done nothing since. Okay, you got traded away from the Wizards. That's how much they ain't want you. Okay. So, yeah, talk your ish because they probably was disrespecting him. Already know it. They were disrespecting him, not even listening to him because these players, they are accountable for what they want to be accountable for. They think they are high hope, and just because their team is losing, and Ryan Rollins had X amount of good games, and Kevin Porter Jr. had X amount of good games, they think they can just disrespect a legend like Doc Rivers. No, talk your ish, Doc. Google me. Y'all better listen to me. Stop acting like I don't know what I'm talking about, okay? Y'all better stop doing this, all right? And I am look at my playing days too. Stop playing with me because I was a better player than both of y'all in my playing days too. So it sometimes that it takes a coach to snap to let people know, hey, I need my respect, all right? My college coach did the same thing when we were undermining him, and look what him now. He just won the first round in St. Louis, Coach Josh Schertz. So, Doc, do what you do, okay? Tell the team, cry me a river.
That's absolutely it. I love it. I love it. The passion, the energy, the B-Dot of it all. Dwight Walton, you're next.
First of all, whoever leaked this story to Shams Charania should be fired. This should not have gotten out. First of all, this was an in-house locker room meeting. So again, whoever leaked it out to Shams should be fired. Also, Iman Shumpert on ESPN asked Shams on the air, how do you know what was said? Where do you get this information from? And it kind of put Shams and the panel on NBA Today kind of in a defense mechanism because it's true. How did Shams get all this information? Again, anyways, to Doc's detriment, however, if those guys did Google him, they would see that in the 3 years he's coached the Bucks, he has a losing record, 96 and 101. Also, he has lost several 3-1 leads in playoff situations, so that wouldn't be good on his resume either. A lot of people will tell you that Doc is living off of that 2008 NBA championship with the Boston Celtics. So again, he has every right to say to his team, Google me, but I have a problem with this conversation being leaked to the media, and whoever the mole is, he or she should be fired.
I don't have any problem with Iman Shumpert at all. Okay, but Iman needs to understand something. You don't ask Shams Charania his source. And I'm not saying like, oh, he's Shams Charania. No. You just don't do it in sports media, okay? You don't ask Stephen A. Smith when he gets a scoop who his source is. You know why? Because he can't tell you. If he told you the source, that source would never give him any information anymore, right? So, like, that's Iman just not understanding the business. And again, I say this with love. I'm trying to help people here. But no. You don't ask Peter Vesey his source. You didn't ask Woj his source. You don't ask Shams or Chris Haynes or Jake Fisher or Mark Stein or any of the. Anyway, I've said what I need.
Hold on, Rick. I don't think Iman was asking it in that context. I think he was just saying, "Man, Shams, how do you know what was said?" I think he was saying it as a part of the banter. I don't think he was directly asking Shams, but to your point, I think Shams was caught aback by it. The whole panel was. But then again, my point is, this story should never have gotten out. Somebody obviously in the Milwaukee organization, allowed this to get out, and now it's become a talking point for all of us to discuss.
A.M. Pfeffer, was Doc Rivers wrong to play the Google Me card?
No, he wasn't wrong because he has the history to be able to say something like that. And it's not just about Celtics championship. I mean, go back to his first year, his first head coaching job, right? If everybody remembers, that's 1999. That's the Orlando Magic, speaking of the great Orlando Magic. I mean, he took a team of nobodies and made them 500 and actually won Coach of the Year that year. He was a laughing stock, and everybody was like, this team's going to suck, and he's never going to be a real head coach. Well, he's had a hell of a career since then, so let's give Doc all of the accolades in that respect. But does Doc Rivers need all of this? Did he ever need to take this job? No, I never understood why he did in the first place. He had a pretty cushy life. I mean, if I go back and think about him on the last couple years of the Clippers, well, my honest opinion, he was mailing it in then. And his handicap probably went from a 12 to a 2 when he was out at Riviera every day hitting balls. And, look, he also had a cushy job at the Ringer, that beautiful raspy voice of his. I love listening to it. And I don't know why he ever left and had to go up to Milwaukee and take the pain that he's doing. So this is still on him to where this has all ended up. But he's still right to have said, Google me.
AM, Doc Rivers left the Ringer so he didn't have to work with Bill Simmons anymore. Duh. It's that easy. My God. That's not even a hard one right there. All right. I got some jokes here. All right. Was Doc wrong for playing the Google Me card? Hell no. Doc is not a narcissist, okay? He doesn't run around citing his resume like LeBron James. I'm sorry he caught a stray. I'm not sorry. Doc saying Google Me is born of consistent disrespect from players over a long period of time. By the way, they're his employees, okay? They force Doc to remind them that he is a GOAT. Oh, by the way, he's going into the Hall of Fame this year. Right. Did any of his players hear that? Do they even care? Have a little respect, man. Treat your elders with the proper respect. I mean, these people have no concept of what Doc did for the game, apparently. And check this out. It is so bad in Milwaukee right now. So Bobby Portis punched Niko Mirotic all the way to the EuroLeague. And the crappy Bucks just played Doc Rivers into retirement, okay? Doc was recently asked, right after all this bubbled up, about how much longer he wants to coach. He said, I have 7 grandkids. I'm going to stop right there. As soon as you play the grandkid card, you're done, okay? You're out. So the main culprit is Miles Turner. Have you guys heard from Miles Turner at all?
Not at all.
This year. You guys know that he has been like benched, and not maybe benched, but like down to play. He was dropped in fantasy basketball leagues all over the place. Miles Turner. He's a top 5 round pick. Okay. So anyway, he to me is the main culprit here. Another question for you. And I want Dwight Walton to go first on this one. Doc Rivers wants us to Google him. So let's Google him, okay? Grade Doc Rivers' coaching career. And again, we're on a 60-second timer here. So, A minus, B plus, give a grade on Doc Rivers' career. And let me give you some goodies here before, for our audience and just you. So he's 6th all-time in wins, 6th, 1,193. One of 7 coaches with 1,000 wins and a title. 7 guys in the history of the game. He does have the most blown 3-1 leads ever in the playoffs. And so that's all I want to say. Dwight Walton, you first on Doc Rivers here. And the question is, my friend, grade his coaching career.
Also, I want to add this as well. The season before they won the championship in 2008, and yes, they drafted Rajon Rondo, they added Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen. The season before that, the Celtics lost 18 games in a row. So they went from that to a championship the very next season. Now, I'll give his career a solid B because he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He did win a championship in 2008. You rattled off all of the accomplishments, 6th most wins, 7th, whatever you said. Those are great statistics. However, you can't get away from the fact that he hasn't won a championship since 2008. He has the most 3-1 losses in playoff history, and his overall playoff history hasn't been the best. Again, a lot of people will tell you he's living off of that 2008 championship, so I'll give his career a solid B. He's a champion, has all those wins, has a ton of records, top 6, top 7 in a lot of stats. So because he's in the Hall of Fame now, I'll give him a solid B.
Dwight, I wasn't thumbs downing you. I was thumbs downing that narrative that Doc's been living off that chip. He's got almost, right. He's got almost 1,200 wins. That's not living off of a championship. Dr. X, what grade would you put on Doc Rivers' coaching career?
I give him a B minus. I agree with what everybody's saying in terms of just, him winning a lot of games. That's, really a product of him having a good team. That's a good regular season team that will win a lot of games. He's had, the luxury of having that Celtic team, and then he got traded. I think one of the first coaches, or one of the very few coaches that have been traded all the way to Los Angeles, and then had a good team there as well with Chris Paul. But I think injuries did them in a lot of the times. But they would always have good regular seasons. But the reason why I add the minus is because it just happened too often, giving up the 3-1 leads with really good teams that should have gone a lot further. And I just can't ignore that. And every time you say Doc Rivers, people that want to, give an honest perspective of him always have to bring that up. And so he can't divorce himself from that narrative. And so because of that, I add the minus.
Okay. I got you, man. A.M. Pfeffer, let's go to you next, and let's get the double letter thing going here. Kai and Jason are doing their thing, man. Put a grade on Doc Rivers' coaching career, A.M.
B+. And a lot of that has to do with the personalities that he's had to coach, especially at the point guard position. Rajon Rondo and Chris Paul are well known as, I don't want to say malcontents. That's a terrible word because it's not fair to put on either of them, but or head cases. Neither of them are that, but they are strong personalities, like super strong personalities, both of those guys. And he did an admirable, if not incredible job coaching both of them at the height of their careers. So for that alone was awesome. Again, coach of the year in his rookie season when nobody expected him to even last or become who he did. Top 10, top 6 all time, for wins. Rick, you make a great point about that. Again, he's not an A because he's left a lot on the table. And there are a couple times, and again, I really do feel like he probably mailed in the last season, maybe even the last 2 when he was with the Clippers. And I don't love the decision to ever have gone back to Milwaukee. I don't need to understand why he did that, other than maybe he just missed the game so much and he needed to feel that way. Yeah, you're putting up the money machine. Although I mean, maybe he needed it, maybe he didn't. I can't speak to his personal life, but he's still, to me, absolutely B+. He's close enough to an A.
That's a fine, Rick. You can't do that. That's a fine.
Right. I'm taunting her, Johnny Manziel. I mean, I don't know. I can't. I don't have access to Doc's bank account. I don't think he needed the money from Milwaukee. I just think if somebody offers you millions of dollars to do your job, you keep doing it until they tell you can't do it anymore. Anyway, Doc, grade Doc Rivers' coaching career. We're all listening.
B+. Like you said, 6 all-time wins, 4th in all-time playoff wins behind Popovich, Pat Riley, and Phil Jackson. Like, let's be serious. Like, do you hear those names I'm saying? Like, yeah, we keep talking about the 3-1, but, bro, I'm a player. Like, we can't put it all on a coach. We players are out there on the line. We give up 3-1. Only thing we can blame on the coach is substitutions. If you're subbing someone out when they're hot or you don't have the right lineups in there, then, yeah, but – he just got the bad end of the stick. You're up 3-1, and you as a coach, you give your players the game plan, and they have to play the game plan as it was planned. And his players wasn't able to do that. Granting injuries, Chris Paul was injured every goddamn year of the playoffs. Every time everybody get over the hump, something happened to Chris Paul. So it's tough. Like I give Doc a B+. I give Doc a B+.
All right, I think B+ is going to be like the aggregate grade here. I've got Doc at an A-, fellas, and our great audience out here. I know about the 3-1 leads and the 3-1 leads, and he blows 3-1 leads and all this kind of stuff. I'm at a blah, blah, blah point with that. LeBron James is the all-time leader in turnovers. Nolan Ryan is the all-time leader in walks. Brett Favre is the all-time leader in interceptions. Those are 3 of the greatest of their sport, right? If you play a long time or coach a long time, there's going to be some buzzkills. You're going to have some broken eggs on the floor. Doc's one of the greatest coaches in NBA history. I want people to stop focusing on the small stuff, the 20%. Focus on the 80%, okay? Because most of Doc Rivers' resume is absolutely glistening, but the hate. I mean, I saw Onyx, I think it's a Twitter follow, and they listed all the negative accomplishments, and they said, a fraudulent head coach. It was like one of the worst tweets I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, he's fraudulent all the way to the Hall of Fame, you bleepity bleep. All right, we're moving on. It is Beyond the Surface on the X-Rated Sports Network.
Hey, all-time leader in strikeouts, Reggie Jackson. And that's one of the greats. Come on. Yeah,
That's great. Yo, Dot. Awesome.
Mr. October, man. I love it. Oh, man, you're taking me back to that 3 home run game in the World Series. Holy cow, baby. What a player.
1977. I was 12 years old.
Electric. Doc is still excited about that as a Yankee fan and a New Yorker. Okay. All right. Let's get into JJ Redick. Oh, boy, is this juicy. Is JJ Redick losing the Lakers or losing it? Is JJ Redick losing the Lakers or losing it? Another huge loss for the Lakers. Redick subs out Vanderbilt for missing 3 free throws. Vanderbilt's pissed, has words for Redick. They kind of they didn't need to be separated, but you could tell it was icy. JJ said after the game, nothing personal with him. Normal stuff from my end. I think for all of us, being undermanned, we've got to scrap and claw. We've got to all be on the same page. I called a timeout to get him out of the game, and he reacted, okay? So now, if you guys have the sound queued up, and my bad for not giving you a cue on this, but if we can play the JJ Redick sound where he calls out his entire team. And what I really want to focus on here is you're watching video of all this stuff. What I really want you to focus on is wait to the end and JJ Redick goes off, not elevated voice and stuff, but goes off. Hey, what's up? Goes off on DeAndre Ayton that he can't even catch the ball. Fellas, run the sound. This is JJ Redick.
Called the early timeout because Rui didn't do his job, and so took him out of the game. We've got to find 9 guys that are all in on us fighting.
What led to the exchange between you and Jared Vanderbilt early on in the second quarter?
Just a confluence of things. Again, it's nothing personal with him. About normal stuff from my end. I think for all of us, being undermanned and we've got to scrap and claw. We've got to all be on the same page. We got to be great teammates. We got to all play hard. Called a timeout to get him out of the game, and he reacted. But again, normal interaction for me.
What was he not doing in his shift then?
What was he not doing?
Yeah, to take him out.
Again, it was a confluence of things, Dan.
All right.
I love JJ.
So I do too. So then he went on to say, I'm not sure, but he said DeAndre Ayton can't catch the ball. And he said it not once, not twice, but 3 times. He said it 3 times. He said it 3 times. Okay, by the way, Dr. X, confluence, a good Duke word, right? That's a Duke education word right there. When you start rocking confluence around here. Okay, so Dr. X, I want to go to you first here, my man. Is JJ Redick losing the Lakers or losing it?
Losing the locker room, possibly, but it doesn't matter because those players aren't really doing their jobs, and the ones that are doing their jobs are currently out injured. So he just needs some people to show up for him in the playoffs. And I'm not mad at him having that fire because they actually need that. The Lakers is a big organization, one of the most expensive organizations, or one of the most, I would say they sell the most, or their fans are everywhere. So there are very high expectations for this organization. So fans should be happy that they have a coach that cares and is not just nonchalant on the sidelines and not holding people to their, you're getting paid millions of dollars and it's there for everybody to see. everything he's saying is true. I just wish he would give Dalton Connect a chance during this time. If you think he's not going to show up, then show us that he's not going to show up. He doesn't have to prove anything to me. But I just thought that they are very short-handed right now. Why not put Dalton Connect in there and see what can happen? So I would say, JJ, keep on doing what you're doing. And, this will kind of put pressure on the ownership to give them the players that can play JJ Redick style ball.
All right, so I want to go off script here real quick. Dwight Walton is our resident big man. Dwight, haven't seen a lot of footage of you, my friend, unfortunately. I have a feeling each of your hands were vacuum cleaners. That's just me, though. I have a feeling you had really, really, really good hands. Not like Jokic. Jokic has the best hands in NBA history, in my opinion. Not like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I want you, guys, run the video that you just ran. This is DeAndre Ayton not catching the ball. Dwight Walton, break it down.
Listen,
Look at this.
you know what's crazy? And again, if DeAndre Ayton would just learn to catch the ball with two hands. Here's the thing. And Rick, I appreciate your compliment. Yes, there's a reason why, as an undersized power forward throughout my career, I averaged double-digit rebounds for my career. I used to catch passes from Steve Nash. I used to get 6 to 8 points per game from Steve. Why would Steve throw me the ball? Because he knew I would catch and finish. All of my guards throughout career loved throwing me the ball because they knew I would catch and finish. And I have this conversation with a former teammate of mine, Devon Kelly, and he's been saying it from the beginning of the year. DeAndre Ayton can't catch a cold. He has hands of stone. All of that, all the terms you want to use in regards to DeAndre Ayton, it is a shame. And it's the truth. And to get to JJ Redick, the reality is he didn't tell any lies. He spoke the truth, and he chose to speak on the Lakers in public to sort of send a message. He definitely hasn't lost any locker room. He's not losing it. He already said it earlier in the season after a poor effort by the Lakers. He's not going to put up with 53 more games like this. This is who JJ is. Jeannie Buss, Rob Pelinka, and the Lakers organization knew who they were hiring when they hired JJ Redick. He speaks the truth. His initial press conference when he was introduced as the coach, he was cussing and swearing all through it. He was letting y'all know, this is who I am. He embraces the villain role as being the most hated Duke player of all time, this side of Christian Laettner. He loves this. He loves being the bad guy. He loves telling you the truth. He loves holding you accountable. That's who JJ Redick is. He's not going to change. Darvin Ham wasn't a bad coach. He was a pretty successful coach. He got the Lakers to the Western Conference Finals, but he wasn't JJ Redick. He was too much of a player's coach. JJ Redick can be a player's coach, but he's also going to hold you accountable and say it in public if necessary to get his message across. So JJ ain't losing nothing. He's not losing the locker room. He is the perfect coach for the Lakers, and he will be the coach of the Lakers for a very, very long time. The dude has won 100 games in his first 2 seasons. No need to change now. Message served. Message got across. This is who he is.
All right, I want to try this again with B-Dot. Because B-Dot, of course, is a guard who passes it to bigs. But B-Dot, I want you to attack this Ayton video a little differently. Could you please also infuse like a Rucker MC vibe to it as you watch Ayton fumble all these balls? Go ahead.
Oh my goodness, man! Look at this. What is you doing, man? Come on now. Look, great pass right here. Boom, can't catch it. Hand slippery. Come on. Need to stick him on his hands. Smooth little pass. Boom, right here. Come on, dog. Like I don't understand it, man. I see. Wait, hold on, Lily. Hold on. See, look, a whole bunch of entitled, rich MFers. Okay. JJ, that's why I see why JJ said he wanted the guys that's 25 and below that he can actually coach. if JJ was coaching this OKC team, all this stuff he was saying would be absorbed like a sponge and listened to. All right, JJ's playing with a lot of guys that's, like I said, hasn't done anything in the league. Ayton complained about Monty Williams. Jared Vanderbilt, I don't even got to say, Jared Vanderbilt can't throw a rock in the ocean, okay? That little left hand jump shot. Come on, man. Come on. Y'all ain't proved nothing. Y'all don't have the right to be saying anything back to JJ Redick. Like, y'all don't have the resume. Oh my gosh, bro. I can't stand when the coach is passionate about his job and players can't receive it and take it as a constructive criticism. Like, come on now. This is like, I don't think JJ Redick's not losing anything. Like I said, he's about to get these guys out of here after this year, and hopefully get the roster that he wants. A whole bunch of young guys that are coachable and wants to be coached and wants to win the game. Like, these guys, I don't know, man. It's just making me mad, bro. With the Doc Rivers stuff,
you know what?
And now it is.
You know what, Rick and Dot? The only player with worse hands was Kwame Brown. Kwame Brown and DeAndre Ayton are on the same level. They both have hands of stone, man. Couldn't catch a call. Terrible.
I was about to say, Kwame Brown's life got 46% better the day DeAndre Ayton put on a Lakers jersey. That's literally the line I was going with. That was coming next.
There you go.
All right, so I'm so glad you went there because I was having Kwame thoughts. Okay, Kwame Brown was so bad at catching the ball. Phil Jackson, and this is not a joke, Phil Jackson instructed his guards to pass the ball at his face.
Yes,
because
to force him to catch
you couldn't throw it to the hand, right? He couldn't, you post up, you put the hand out. He couldn't catch it. So he wanted them to whistle the pass right between his eyes because self-defense will cause him to catch the damn ball. Nothing else will work. Okay, great story from back in the day. A.M. Pfeffer, we are on JJ Redick. Is he losing the Lakers or is he losing it?
Well, he lost me a little bit because I got to be that guy for a second, guys. As awesome of a word as confluence is, it's also supposed to be a positive. When something is a confluence, it's like rivers coming together. It's actually supposed to be a positive. The word he was really looking for was conflux or conflation. Those really connotate a negative. Man, I'm so sorry I had to be that guy. You know me. I'm just
conflation. I've never heard the word conflation.
You wouldn't be AM, man. You wouldn't be AM if you didn't go there.
Conflation. What is conflation?
I'm gonna say this. I love I'm here for all the JJ Redick. Let's just say it like this. Ime Udoka is my favorite coach in the league. I think he's probably the best coach in the league. I really love that. And Rick, I'm with you. Missoula is still like number one to listen to. And it comes out of his mouth. The man is amazing. But JJ Redick is not that far behind. He's like trickling as like the third guy who's just so interesting. He really has done an incredible job this year. And good for him calling everybody out. He's not losing the team or he's not losing it. What he said about Ayton was great. Okay. And Jared Vanderbilt, are you kidding me? He's taking you out of the game. You're getting taken out of the game. All right? You confluxed yourself out of the game, pal.
AM, JJ, let me tell you, listen, I love JJ, Jared Vanderbilt's energy, what he brings to the table, but his style of play, his type of player is a dying breed in the NBA. If there's a certain amount of players that are in the NBA right now that shouldn't be, and Jared Vanderbilt is one of them. If you can't dribble, pass, and shoot, you can't play in today's NBA. You can't be on one side of the ball. And the reality is Jared Vanderbilt can't hit the side of a barn, can't put the ball in the ocean at all. When he makes a three, I am stunned. I respect the fact that he's in the NBA, but he can't shoot it. And the fact that JJ Redick called a timeout to get him out of the game should tell you how displeased he was with Jared Vanderbilt. He didn't let the play continue. He called a timeout just to get him out. That's crazy to me. That's wild.
Look, you heard what JJ you heard what JJ said, and he said man, right? It's something to the effect of like we're man down, right? Or we're shorthanded, right? Because he's really stating what it is. My guys are Luka and Reeves and LeBron as like this is what I want. That's what I care about. The rest of you, you gotta be kidding me. right? Like, if we're going to make any run in the playoff, you better understand everybody's role on the team, and you better listen to what the hell I'm saying and what I'm trying to put in process before hopefully these two guys get back when we got to get to playoff time. And he's making his point, and he made it well. He certainly made it well with me.
Yeah.
Facts. The only other player on that team that has, outside of LeBron and Luka and Reeves, and even Reeves doesn't have any, crazy accolades, but the only player on that team that has an actual accolade that's not LeBron and those guys is Marcus Smart. And he's not disrespecting JJ Redick at all. And come on, y'all.
Well, and again, as usual, he's hurt right now.
So,
Right.
a couple things here. Jared Vanderbilt's biggest contribution to the LA Lakers this year was entertaining LeBron James while LeBron had sciatica at the beginning of the year at the end of the Laker bench. That's the best thing Vando's done for the Lakers all year, was cutting up with Bron when he was out. And so now I give you my answer here. JJ Redick is losing it, okay? Because his team sucks and he knows it. He may have lost the team, but I don't care. And if he did, that's on them, not him. JJ Redick is an A, fill in the rest. You already know.
Yeah.
He's a hard-ass coach, and I love it. And if the players don't love it, tough SH, and you know the rest, okay? JJ's a winner. He knows what it takes to win. And if you're falling short, he's going to get in your you-know-what about it. You see me avoiding all these cuss words? I'm proud of myself. JJ does not care about your feelings. Ime Udoka does not care about your feelings. Joe Mazzulla does not care about your feelings. Okay, we need more coaches like that, Mike Brown. JJ is losing it. DeAndre Ayton can't even catch the ball. DeAndre Ayton should be the go-to guy on a night without Bron, Reeves, and Luka, and they can't even throw him the ball because he can't catch the damn thing. All right, let's move on. The Sacramento Kings pulled the all-time tanking stunt the other night.
Ooh.
Should the Kings get fined for tanking? We have never seen tanking like this. We're literally, you are Bam out of bioing it to lose. I've never seen this before. I've seen pulling players. I've seen emptying the bench, all that kind of stuff, like to ensure use. I've never seen Doug Christie instruct a player to go foul Seth Curry, who's like an 85% free throw shooter, on purpose while up 101-100 in the fourth quarter with about 3 minutes to go. I've never seen it before. Sacramento denied their late foul of Seth Curry was an intentional tanking tactic. They said it wasn't. Bull crap. Team sources said it was just a simple strategic error in a game where they nearly beat the Warriors. You can't beat these allegations. Are you serious right now? Nobody believes that garbage, okay? It's like, do you guys remember when LeBron James, they asked him about the J.J. Redick hire. Did you have anything to do with the J.J. Redick hire? And LeBron James said, nope, had nothing to do with that. Lies! Lies! Stop it. Just stop saying that. Of course you had something to do with him getting that job. And I'm not saying it's like a hookup. You don't think the Lakers checked with J.J.? I mean, give me a break. All right, so I have, guys, I'm going to give the answer first here. And no, the Kings should not be fined. But, and it's a big old but. I do have punishment for them, but it's not a fine, okay? To me, Adam Silver's fallen way behind in the fine game here. Washington should have been fined more. Utah should have been fined more. Fine. Okay, so now all of a sudden you're going to come in and fine Sacramento? I mean, I'd be cool with it if he did it, but you're almost too late with that. So here's what you do. And again, Adam Silver, I hook you up constantly. It's 2 assists now going on 3. This is number 3. It's called Cam's Tanking Ranking, okay? I've said this before. You're cooking the lottery. Ping pong balls and percentages, none of that matters. You, behind closed doors with nobody watching, not even Ernst & Young, are going to slot the top 10 picks or the bottom 5 in each conference. Play-in tournament teams are not invited to this party. So this is how you would stack the bottom 10 teams based on tanking or deployment of players down the stretch. How tanky were you? Okay? So Sacramento gets punished the most. They get the 10th pick in the draft. How do you like them apples? Sacramento, Vivek Ranadive. You screwed up again. You're going 10th, okay? For all this tanking bullcrap, they're the tankiest team in the NBA this year. Utah's number 2. Danny Ainge, I hate the way you're running your team. Haven't seen Lauri Markkanen since the Chicago days. They get a 5-star rating. Sacramento gets a 5-star rating. And you want to be a 0-star rating, okay? Washington they're getting the 8th pick, okay? So Utah, Washington, all these super tanky teams. I'm punishing you. Now you're not even getting any of the premium talent in the draft. It's Cam's tanking ranking. Washington gets 5 stars. They pick 8th. Memphis, shutting down John Moran, all the other bullcrap, 5 stars. They go 7th. Milwaukee, they're at 4 stars just because Giannis wanted to play and you didn't let him play, even though you have nothing to tank for. It's literally loco, crazy, bananas, cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. It makes no sense. So I slap you with 4 stars and you go 6th, but I don't even think they have their draft pick. That'll go somewhere else. Brooklyn goes 5th. Okay, 3 stars for them. Chicago goes 4th, 2 stars. They played Gideon Buzelis pretty much up to the end. I don't even know who Brooklyn's best players are. I'm hands to God on that team. They have the worst roster in the NBA. Indiana goes 3rd. They get 2 stars. They played Siakam all the way to April 3rd. I'm okay with that. Dallas is playing Cooper Flagg down the stretch. Okay, they're not tanking. They're a 1 star. They go 2nd in the draft. And the New Orleans Pelicans get the 1st pick in the draft for being the least tanky team. They played Zion up until the end. They played DeJounte Murray coming off the injury, right? These are not tanky things, okay? So they get the 1st pick in the draft. Now, let's go around the room. Dwight Walton.
Hold on, Rick.
Yeah.
Hold on, Rick. I don't know the records. Do the New Orleans Hornets have the best worst record? If they do, you spoke my tanking solution into existence. I don't know. If New Orleans has the best worst record, you just spoke my solution.
I mean, Chicago has the best worst record. Pardon me, Milwaukee does at 31-49, then Chicago at 30-49. New Orleans is at 26-54. But so I don't know about all that best worst. It's actually kind of confusing for me. But what I can tell you is this, Dwight. The New Orleans Pelicans are 11th in the West. Okay? They're not where Sacramento and Utah are. The reason they're 11th and not 15th is because they've been playing their guys. And I think they should be rewarded for that.
That's fair. But at the same time, winning should be incentivized. That's a whole other thing. Anyway, listen, what Sacramento did the other night, they can disguise it as a tactical error on Doug Christie's part, whatever the case may be. I smell a rat. I smell a fish. They're trying to position themselves to make sure they're in the top 4 of the worst so they can have the highest percentage to get their I guess, preferred lottery choice. So this is what this is all about. That's what these teams are doing. Draymond Green spoke about how only 2 of the 10 teams have been fined. Rick, you spoke about the Utah Jazz should be fined even more than what they were. They were fined $500,000 back in February. So the NBA has been onto the Utah Jazz for the last couple of months. Again, I guess to hit teams where it truly hurts would be financially and through draft picks. But again, I don't know how this tanking thing is going to be solved. As I saw on social media yesterday, there is growing momentum that all 18 teams, which is going to include the play-in teams in both the Eastern and Western conferences, are going to be included in the draft lottery, and that everybody is going to have a flat chance at the number 1 pick, or maybe the bottom 10 are going to have an equal shot at the number 1 pick. What I do like overall is that 18 teams are going to be in the lottery. So that incentivizes winning. Whether you want to be in the play-in or not, you're still going to get a chance to improve your team in the next draft. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the way it is. Again, I like my solution to where the best worst team gets the number 1 pick automatically. So that means you have to play all of your players throughout the season. And I always go to the Utah Jazz as an example. AJ DeBanza played high school in Utah. He went to university in Utah, and of course, the Utah Jazz are trying to position themselves to make sure Debance stays in Utah, so stays in the city of Utah, or Salt Lake City, excuse me, so they can draft him. So if you want him so badly, play your best players. Don't shuffle them off to a surgery so they can sit out the year. If you want Debance, win out, become the number one pick. That to me would solve the tanking issues.
You're mute.
Dr. X, I want to go to you next here. Are you finding the Sacramento Kings? Do you like my tanking ranking in this system? Again, I brought Adam Silver some ideas. He's adopted 2 of them. Maybe this is number 3.
I think it's too late to. I don't. I get what you're doing. You're trying to punish them, but I think you got to remove a pick. But in terms of your tanking ranking, I don't like putting Indiana so high up. I like that was one of the rules or stipulations that a team like the Indiana Pacers that was just in the finals because of this injury. You have a whole. I mean, they also lost Miles Turner as well, but I just felt like they were a better team than their record shows, and they're trying to benefit from losing Tyrese Halliburton. So I just feel like they shouldn't be rewarded for that. And I also think that's why they had that stipulation. So if you reached the NBA Finals, or you had a really good record, or you were in the conference finals last year, in the last 2 years, you can't have a top pick. So I would just remove Indiana from that altogether. The NBA has that rule. And I also hate your take, Dwight, about the best worst record. That's garbage. Get that crap out of here. I don't want to hear it.
I disagree. I disagree.
I know you do, because you say it every time, the best worst record. You're like, hey, Rick, is my team up there? No, your team's not up there. Your team's
just
not
because
up
you were good the year before, you can't get a high pick? I disagree.
Yeah, a lot of people agree with it. It was on ESPN.
But with who?
But the best worst record. No, yeah, with that fact, yeah, that means if OKC loses a player, they should not be next year.
They might get somebody's pick this year.
That means that a lot of those teams that lose a really good player that are just really good teams, sorry, you're just gonna have to take the L. But you're not gonna jump all these other teams now. That's because you had an injury. Everybody has injuries. That's why a lot of the bad teams
reward the front office for being smart. Reward the front office for being smart.
I'm not rewarding the Indiana Pacers or any team that is top 5 in the league. Sorry.
Too bad.
Deal with it. And that's why they also did 2 years.
Too bad.
So secondly, the ranking, yes. I think yes, the Kings should be fine. I think they should find as many people as they can just to kind of discourage it. And even if they're wrong, or maybe if they're even too harsh, it's okay, because they have to make up for a lot of wrongs that have been done over the past decade. I mean, the Spurs, if you really look into how they even got Wemby, the whole courting, the whole grooming of just getting Wemby is a little fishy to me too. The whole Tony Parker connection, them just like, talking about Wemby from when he was 12, and now all of a sudden he's on the Spurs. You know what I mean? I just don't like it. And so I feel like for them to be all of a sudden about it and finding people, it's a little too late. And the time to do that was before Wemby arrived there and before this talented draft class. So for them to finally have good rules, and no one's really talking about the draft class coming up. So I just feel like it's late. But yeah, find people, but you got to take draft picks away straight up. And I think a team that would fit that category would be the Wizards, the Washington Wizards.
The Knicks got Patrick Ewing the same way, so miss me with that.
The Mavs got Cooper Flagg on some of that NBA hookup stuff, man. Come on, you can't tell me that was ping pong balls. You can tell me, I don't believe that. B-Dot, let's go to you, my friend. Do the Sacramento Kings need to be fined? And what do you think about the tanking ranking? Can you rock with that?
Nah, yeah, they need to be fined. Every team need to be fined for taking. They need to get picks taken away. That was the most ridiculous excuse I ever heard. You got Draymond Green on the floor, and you fouled the other person with the name Curry. Come on now. Come on, Doug Christie. You get him out of there. Get him out of there. And like Doc said, man, like the whole tanking ranking thing is they should have done this years ago. It's hard to implement it, now, during this part of the season. You might as well let the teams take, and then this next go around, go ahead and throw the fines and everything else in it. Because right now there seems to be no solution, or no one can come up with a solution or a reliable solution, or someone has a solution and someone says, I don't like this. Or Doc says, yeah, Dwight, I don't agree with this. It's terrible. So it's like we got to figure out something to agree to disagree about. We just got to Adam Silver. He needs to put his do-rag on, throw some dreads, and be that dark-skinned commissioner and be like, look, your picks is gone. Give me $2 million. You feel me? Like you don't have no pick, or you don't have no picks for this whole draft, and let that.
That's a pretty good solution,
suffer.
Doc. I like that.
Come on
That's
now.
good.
Come on now. You can't please everybody. You gotta take a page out of the old commissioner book and just be like, look, this is what it is. All right. So yeah, that's my take on it. Yeah, I really don't have much to elaborate on it. I can't stand the taking. Understand it. I understand it because it has been successful. Look at look at these teams that are successful now. I don't want to say it was from tanking, but it was from tanking. So
OKC.
Come on now.
And the Spurs.
I didn't want to say it.
Right.
I didn't want to say they got two MVPs on there. So
Actually,
if you want to say
Boston.
tanking is terrible,
Remember,
it's
Boston
working.
got Tatum and Brown back to back. That was from tanking.
True. Yep.
Come on now. So it works to a T, but we got to figure out how to not make it work. You feel me? So yeah, that's my take right there.
I love it, man.
The Knicks should have done it. They might have won a championship.
It's a good point, man. The Patriots, after they lost Tom Brady, needed to just tank for 1 year. They got Cam Newton, and I love Cam Newton. Cam Newton was in retirement that year for New England while he was playing. Like, the dude could not throw the football at all. Anyway, by the way, it's so ironic, right? Vivek Ranadive, basically told Doug Christie to do that. Coaches don't throw games. Players don't throw games. Organizations throw games. So here's what's going to happen. They're going to fire Doug Christie, right? And scapegoat him or what. It's and I love Doug. I'm buddies with Doug. I don't want this, but come on, man. You guys see Doug Christie coach in Sacramento next year? I don't. But anyway, let's go to AM Pfeffer here. AM Pfeffer, if you're Adam Silver. Oh, one more thing, Doc. Adam Silver, Dot was mentioning the durag. Adam Silver needs to be more like the Riot comedy version of Adam Silver. Dr. X, am I right?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
If you guys got to see how they portray Adam Silver, and it's obviously very satirical and that kind of thing, but he's a badass in Riot comedy. He is not the cute, cuddly commissioner that we have. All right, AM Pfeffer, are you finding the Kings?
No, definitely not. Look, we're so past the tipping point at this point, guys. A third of the league is tanking at this moment. Okay, so I'm not finding the Kings. This is a making from the NBA. This is their fault at this point. It's come to a head, and things are absolutely going to change this offseason, and I would expect major changes. Obviously, the voice is so loud. This is number one, if not number two, on the pecking order of the NBA, on their totem pole of things to take care of in the offseason. We'll see what happens after this. This draft is too important. 10 teams are tanking. It's not like it's 1 or 4. And, we're so far beyond the tipping point. So I'm not finding the Kings. This is like one joke after the next, night after night, week after week for the last 2 months already, with every other team who is in the bottom 10. So the Kings are just playing the game like everybody else is right now, as ludicrous as it was, but I'm not finding them at this point. I have to look at myself in the mirror if I'm the NBA and say, this is entirely my fault. Silver's got to change this. Now, Rick, you brought up something interesting, the tanking ranking. I do love it to a point. Unfortunately, I can't go with you with it fully, and it's something you actually brought up. No, but I mean this sincerely, because there's a cog in the wheel here, right? Like, I actually really like this, but there's a cog in the wheel between Milwaukee, okay, and the Pelicans. Like you said, you're giving the Pelicans a tanking ranking, and not because they're going for it, and they're like playing every game and they're really trying, even though they suck, whereas Milwaukee has nothing to play for. But that's not really true. And this is the cog in the wheel, because if a trade happens before the season, then it skews what can happen as part of this ranking. Meaning, you think Milwaukee's not playing for anything, but they absolutely are. They're going to have a very high pick this year. How is that possible? The Atlanta Hawks, as we know, because of the trade that they made with the Pelicans, are going to get either the Pelicans pick or Milwaukee's pick, whichever is better. But Milwaukee gets the other one, whichever is better, whichever is worse. Milwaukee absolutely gets. So if New Orleans gets the number 1 pick, Atlanta takes it, and Milwaukee could still have the number 2 or 3 pick. Okay? If Milwaukee ends up with the number 1 or 2 pick and New Orleans, let's just say they're 3, well, Atlanta's going to take Milwaukee's pick, which is either number 1 or 2, but Milwaukee still gets the 3rd pick because they're taking New Orleans' pick. So it seems like New Orleans isn't playing for anything, or Milwaukee's not and shouldn't be playing for anything, but they absolutely are. Milwaukee could very well. This is the whole cog in the wheel with Giannis. What if they end up with one of these major superstars and then all of a sudden Giannis is saying, oh, I want to groom this kid. I want to play with this kid. Like, this is where it's come to. So unfortunately, the tanking ranking doesn't work because of that. Something's got to be done. Other than that, love your plan, Rick. It's brilliant. It's golden. Sorry to throw my own cog in the wheel for it, but unfortunately, that does take away a little bit.
We weren't laughing at you while you were giving your opinion here.
Oh, good. It was B-Dot?
No, we're laughing at Adam Silver with the
Oh, it's do-rag. I'm sorry. I didn't see. You know what? I was so busy looking at the camera. I didn't see Adam in the do-rag right there. That deserves all the chuckles. I'm with it.
Dr. X, now that's the Riot comedy version of Adam Silver right there.
Exactly. Taking names.
Oh, that's hilarious. Shout out to Jason and Kai doing a great job.
Absolutely.
As
that's brilliant.
Usual.
Brilliant.
Okay, so everybody's taking a bite out of that topic. One more quick one. Let's put a timer on this one. Let's kind of wrap up the NCAA tournament with a bow, and then we'll go to our rant. And we will, move on with our day, but having a blast here. Shout out to Dante Marchitelli, by the way, for joining the broadcast. Hottest take on the NCAA tournament. Okay. It could be men's, women's, anywhere you want to go. Hottest take on the NCAA tournament. I'll go first here. Linda Borg is criminally underrated by Tankathon and other ranking mock drafts at number 13. Again, guys, put a timer on this, 60 seconds. I would take Linda Borg 6th overall. Peterson is overrated at 1 or 2 in some mocks. Way overrated for me. Here's my top 10 guys after the tournament on the men's side. Number 1, AJ Dibansa. I do not want him to go to Utah. Number 2, Cameron Boozer. Number 3, Caleb Wilson. Number 4, Darius Acuff Jr. Number 5, Darren Peterson. There's a nice debate right there, fellas. Number 6, Yaxel Lendeborg. 7, Kingston Flemings. 8, Keaton Wagler. 9, Nate Ament. And 10, Braden Burries. So that's my top 10, and that is my tournament hot take. Dr. X, give us a hot take from the NCAA tournament, men's, women's, anywhere you want to go.
I only have a hot take, but I like that this is revealing what works for. There's 2 ways you can go about building a dynasty in the NCAA. A lot of it has to do with the right coach, and a coach that is hard-nosed, but at least establishes, I would say, some sort of love for his players, where the players know that he has their best interest in mind. That just seeing Alex Caravan playing all those years at UConn, I do feel like UConn could have did a better job of finding more talent. I wasn't really excited to watch them all year. I knew they would have a chance in the tournament just because of the way Dan Hurley coaches and the fact that they'll play for him and they'll do the right things. But I think that's the type of coach you need going forward. So I think a lot of these institutions should be looking at the coaches to see if this is a team that players would want to stay more than 1 year, especially with NIL money coming in. They know they'll get paid. And so now it really just goes about playing for the right coach. And so hopefully this is what teams will do, and this is how they'll build going forward. And the future is bright, and I'm really happy about the other coaches that have gotten good situations. And that goes for Dusty May, and I'm really glad to see that Mike Malone has a shot. And I think that he will be a great coach. I think he's going to be more of a Dan Hurley type of coach.
I was just going to follow up and ask you that. So you think Michael Malone could be that guy that maybe keeps a
Absolutely.
hot shot at North Carolina an extra year or two? Okay.
Of course. Great institution. And then you have a coach that players know has experience in the NBA and has won at that level. and that's where they ultimately want to go. So why wouldn't you want to play for a storied franchise in UNC and have a coach like that as well, in Mike Malone?
Does North Carolina have your attention now, Doc, with Michael Malone?
Oh, they have my attention, but that's what we want. We want it to be a better Duke UNC rivalry. Like, we don't want it to be like, oh, Duke is always better. We don't like seeing that. We want to see it where you just never know what's going to happen. We want the best talent at the Blue Bloods.
Oh, you mean kind of like the Knicks-Nets non-rivalry? Okay, yeah, you don't want it to be.
Nah, it's never been Nets. It's really Knicks with Celtics. You know what I mean? And now Detroit trying to act like they're in the picture, but yeah.
He said, "Try to act like they're in the picture." Oh my God, the shade that is constantly thrown.
With a playoff series first. With a playoff series.
It.
I can't wait for the playoffs. I'm excited.
Me either, man, because all of these conversations, man, there's going to be blown up in our face. There's going to be like, told you. Ah, man, I can't wait. All right, B-Dot, give me your hottest NCAA tournament take.
My hottest take will probably be, just the Michigan winning the national championship after 37 years. You feel me? With, them bringing in my guy Yaxel, Arizona native, and basically just you don't have to be a clean cut Dookie boy in order to win an NCAA tournament. I love Yaxel. That's my little bro. And yes, he needs media training, but he was himself. He was himself. He said what he said, and he backed it up. So, shout out to those Michigan Wolverines. Shout out to the coach. Man, yeah, they need to give him a blank check. Whatever he wants to get paid for the next years he want to be at Michigan, man, let him write it off, okay? Richie Rich. That's probably my hottest take. Yeah. And yeah, Yaxel needs some NBA training. He needs some NBA media training before taking that next level. Because he's too grown to be acting like that. But at the end of the day, he's a kid. Even though he's a grown man kid, he's still in college. So, yeah, that's probably my take. Michigan talked to Ish, and they backed it up. Shout out to Michigan.
Love it, man.
I had Arizona winning.
Yeah, you did. Damn, that was a beat-down Dot. I thought of you during that awful, hideous basketball game. Obviously, if you were a Michigan fan, it was like the good stuff. All right, Dwight Welton, hottest NCAA tournament take.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but we're seeing it play out right now in real time. These schools, North Carolina in particular, they see that you can fix this very quickly. You're going to end up seeing a lot of these big-time schools start forming front offices like they have it in the NBA. And basically, they're going to go out there and hire a coach because of the resources that they have. They're going to have presidents of player personnel. They're going to have scouts. They're going to have general managers and people like Michael Malone as their head coach. As I said earlier, Michigan went from 8-24 2 years ago to national champs. So schools want that quick fix. There's a reason why. Listen, it's pretty well known now. Carolina went after Tommy Lloyd first, then they went after Billy Donovan. They didn't get neither one of those. And because of the transfer portal starting a half hour after Michigan won the national championship, they hired Michael Malone so he can start digging into the transfer portal and start the recruitment process. So schools are going to start building their schools like front offices in the NBA because they want the quick fix and they want the national championship immediately.
Great stuff, you guys. AM Pfeffer, wrap up this topic for us, man. Hottest NCAA take.
After watching the games through the NCAA tournament, and this is easy, and this I think could be a hot take. Number one is clearly Dibanson. Number two for me is Caleb Wilson. And I don't think it's even close for anybody below them. However you want to stack after that, that's what it should be. You got one 6'9" kid who could jump out of the gym, and we all know who Dibanson is and how exciting we should all be, but Caleb Wilson's like not done growing. The dude's 6'10", 215. He's super young. They're both 19 years old. That's who you stake your claim on if you're a GM. That's who you build a team around. That's today's modern NBA. Both these guys can defend if you teach them the right way. It's like, and there are so many good players in this year's draft, but to me, it's not even close anymore. Whatever you want to do, it's, like Peterson has his shortcomings. Acomb has his shortcomings. You know, Yaxel mentally and physically and age-wise has his shortcomings. So, like, again, however you want to do it, path to the Kingston Fleming, shortcomings. Native Ment, shortcomings. Like, they're there. They're top 10 picks, and the 10 that are coming are awesome. But it is so clear. It's so clear right now. It is Dabansa. It is Caleb Wilson. It's everybody else after that.
I may flip AM Wilson over Boozer. I'm still kind of like, I got Boozer 2 and Wilson 3, but I got to do more research on Caleb Wilson, and I think he's a more versatile player. So I may end up flipping and joining you. I love Caleb Wilson.
Yeah, I didn't mention Boozer because to me he's 3. He's just cemented to me like at 3. And then however you want to talk about Peterson, like, do you have the conversation? Is he ready to be on our team? Can he mentally? Blah blah blah. That history, all of that. But like those are your top 3. But like those 2 are runaway for me. So please continue though.
No, I love it. All right, it is rant time, guys. I got a quick one here. I've said this once and I'm going to say it again. The Bucks need to set Giannis free. Please free him. Please do this for him. He's not going to do it. You guys have to do it. I'm so over this team, this dysfunctionality, this whole story. I'm over it. I'm like JJ Redick with his sucky Lakers right now. I mean, catch the damn ball, DeAndre Ayton. Bucks general manager John Horst just recently said this. Eric Name of The Athletic put this out. He says both trading Giannis or trading assets to build around him are both viable options. Here we go again. He said, and not only just from my perspective, but I also believe from Giannis's mindset and his perspective, whether we need couples therapy. John Horst, did you just say couples therapy, bro? Did you really just say that? That's so cringy, so pausey. What are we doing, dude? It's not funny. Leave the jokes to me, homie. I mean, this is just stupid. Couples therapy? No, you need a divorce. Stop it. I mean, give me a break, dude. You need a divorce. D-I-V-O-R-C-E. Turn it into a song. B-Dot's going to drop some bars with that thing right there, okay? I mean, look, I've been divorced 3 times, okay? 2 wives in the Minnesota Vikings. I know about divorce, and nobody on earth needs a divorce more than Giannis and the Milwaukee Bucks. John Horst said, maybe we need couples therapy. You got to be kidding me. He said, or whatever, the assets will still be there. I do feel empowered that, yeah, those things are both viable for us, okay? Also, this whole Milwaukee not letting Giannis play. Well, apparently it triggered a substantial loss of money for Giannis Antetokounmpo with his shoe company and his Nike endorsement deal because he has to play in 41 games. He's played 36. If they would have let him play, he would have played more than 41 games. So, like, I just don't get it. Like, the Bucks they're the most dysfunctional team in the league. Guys, if your best player is healthy and wants to play and you still don't play him, you are crazy. You are insane. Why keep Giannis off the court, okay? And so they need a divorce. I've made my point. That is my rant. And Dr. X, as I go to you, Knicks in Boston tonight, dude. It's got a rather big one. I did read that Jaylen Brown will not play in this game, but hit us with your rant, my friend.
Well, I got 2 things to say. First off, and this might actually be a hot take for NCAA, but John Shire needs to watch his back. I think there is a world, definitely not going to happen this year, but if he doesn't get it going in the next couple seasons, I could see a world where JJ Redick is the new coach of the Duke Blue Devils. And I think, he kind of hinted to it too. He said he needs some young players that are coachable. And I think people would run through a wall to him. I think he is Coach K Part 2. I think he has that fire in his belly. And I really think that JJ Redick will probably win a national championship with the Duke Blue Devils. So I think he's going to eventually be fired.
Wow.
Couple years, and he will be a Dookie. And so John Shire literally has probably 2 more years, I would say, to get it going. And if he wins the championship, he'll likely stay. If he doesn't, trust me, JJ Redick's going to be the Duke head coach. I would leave it there, but I'm wearing my Nicky gear as usual. I'll just say this: the NBA is exciting, but right now I'm on snooze tackler mode with the NBA in general. I can't wait for the in-season tournament. The playoffs are going to be great. A lot of great matchups, even in the in-season tournament. The Knicks need to look themselves in the mirror and know that they can beat any team in the NBA, except for maybe OKC. But the path to winning a championship is there. If things stay the way they are, getting past Toronto won't be any problem. I like their chances against the Celtics, like their chances against the Pistons. But and then if they get through that, then they'll be best of 7 against whoever's there in the West Coast. If it's OKC, it'll be a lot harder. If it's Denver, I think we have a shot. If it's the Spurs, I definitely think we got a shot. And so, but guess what? If the Knicks get knocked out, it's all good because I know it's going to be orange and blue skies immediately because I already know what it's going to be. Like, we're going to get over it literally right after that loss if that happens because we know Giannis may be coming. And if Giannis doesn't come, I kind of like what Giannis said. He said, I'm staying. It's either the Knicks or the Bucks. And I know he's not going to sign another contract to stay with the Bucks. He's just going to eventually just sign with the Knicks. That's what he's going to do. And so whatever it is, it's orange and blue skies. I think the Knicks have a great chance to win it right now. And if they don't, I know our championship window is going to extend probably for the next 3 to 4 years.
Knicks superfan, Dr. X has spoken, baby.
Yes.
The fountain of optimism and enthusiasm for his New York Knicks. Dude, you could put John McEnroe, Tracy Morgan, and Ben Stiller all together. They do not match the fandom of this man right here. Let's go to A.M. Pfeffer. What is your rant, my friend?
I'm actually upset today about something, guys. I really am, legitimately upset. No, I'm gonna spell it out for you. I'm gonna tell you like it is. And I see B-Dot's face. He's smiling up there. He's like, "Hey, I'm really upset. I'm not gonna get some positivity." Yeah, I'm bringing it back to the 65 game rule again, guys. And it ain't about Luka, who did this to himself with the 16 techs, okay? And it ain't about Cade, who came back too early, probably by 3 or 4 games, so he can hit the threshold. Okay, and it's not about Jokic, it's not about Wemby, it's not about SGA. There's another low-key guy out there who's going to miss an All-NBA. Anybody know who it is? What did Devin Booker do to anybody? Devin Booker deserves to be a third-team All-NBA guy, maybe even second, depending on who you are or what you feel about the kid. He's done everything right in a 10-plus year career. He's not going to hit the 65 games this year because of the stupid rule about 20 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever he's got to hit. He's at 63, right? There's 2 games where he didn't hit that number, even though he has over 2,000 total minutes this year and averages something like 33.5 when he plays. And when the 2 guys on his team got hurt, he had to play a hell of a lot more and kept his team afloat and kept him in the 7th seed. And he's a great player and a great guy. And I feel really bad for him more than anybody else. This whole rule, this whole thing has gotten way out of hand. Get out of here with this. Fix this immediately. Fix this more than the tanking. Other than that, this is serious to some guys. Like MVP, 6-man, whatever. All NBA is important. It's like actually really important, especially from a fan perspective for those 3 tiers. Devin Booker, 100% needs to be in either the 2nd or potentially 3rd tier. This is bad.
Do you think he qualifies for the ECC, the Extraordinary Circumstance Challenge?
Yes, more than anybody else. I like Devin Booker. Bad rap for the kid.
I'm sorry. I'm not. I gotta take you deep. I gotta take you deep right now. You just hung a curveball.
Take you behind the wood,
Cam, man.
I
gotta take you deep. Okay. First of all, how dare you call the Rick Kamla 65 game rule a stupid rule? How dare you for pouring water on my idea, which I gave to Adam Silver, and then he ratified it. So how dare you call it a stupid rule? The other thing, Devin Booker's played 60. Devin Booker's played 64 games. I just went to Basketball Reference. So if he plays the next game for the Suns, bam, he's at 65 and he's good to go.
No, he's not. No, he's not. Look at it deeper. Two
Less
of
than
those
20
games that he played
20
are
minutes.
under the 20-minute threshold.
Oh,
This ridiculous part of the rule. And I want to be clear about something. I'm not taking
By the
your
way,
65
that
games and
was
saying
not
that's
in the
stupid.
proposal that I sent to Adam Silver. The 20-minute
That's
thing
my
was
point.
not in the proposal that I sent to Adam.
And I'm
He
not
went rogue
coming
on
at
that.
you, Rick. I'm saying that the 65 game
playing.
rule without the real caveats that we need, the 2,000-minute rule or this stupidity of the 20-minute threshold that means nothing for the superstars who are otherwise going to be all NBA. That's my point about all of this. Like Luka did this to himself. Technical fouls, that's on Luka. He's a putz. I've said it before, I'll say it again.
Agreed.
This is about Devin Booker, who's a good kid who made it over 2,000 minutes, who brought his team into the playoffs, like where they needed to be, and did everything he needed to do while his guys were hurt. And he's got all the minutes that he needs. He's got all of, all the basic 2,000 minutes and more. Not like Wemby, not like SGA. He doesn't get taken out in the fourth quarter. He's a good kid. This sucks for him. Sucks. I'm pissed.
It does. And it sucks for Cade, who's probably going to fall short. It sucks for Luka, who's going to fall short. Play more games. This is one of those things like the human thing. I can definitely empathize with guys who are kind of on the wrong end of this. I can empathize with you. I can. But I can't change the rule. So I could maybe meet in the middle and go 65 games or the 2,000-minute thing. I could maybe do that, okay? But the game thing is more important than the minute thing because the game thing is about selling basketball, okay? Minutes aren't selling basketball. Devin Booker playing or not playing in a Suns game is going to determine whether people watch that game or not, okay? Like if Wemby is out for the Spurs, I may or may not watch the Spurs. If Wemby's playing for the Spurs, I don't miss a game, okay? So that's why the games thing is quite a bit more important than the minutes because when guys play in games, it attracts fans. When like Jaylen Brown is not playing tonight, my interest in tonight's game just dropped through the floor. I will watch it, but it'll be I have it on joint as opposed to I'm sitting there like throwing popcorn in my mouth, right? So that's just where I'm at. Let's go to Dwight Walton here. What's your rant, my friend?
That was going to be my rant as well, the 65-game rule. I just think we have to understand that no matter how much we discuss it, positive or negative, the players collectively bargained and agreed to this thing. And I just find it very ironic or hypocritical of some of these players because they're all concerned, which justifiably so, is going to get them on a first, second, or third All-NBA team. Some very good players, because of this rule, albeit self-inflicted, are going to be left off of these lists. And the NBA is about historical landmarks. And 10, 20 years from now, if we're not going to see Anthony Edwards, Luka Doncic, Victor Wembanyama, Nikola Jokic, some of these players who are possibly Cade Cunningham, who are possibly not going to be on all first or second NBA teams. When we look at the rosters 10 years from now and they say, wait a minute, these guys weren't the best players in the NBA at that time, it's going to look kind of weird. And I understand that. But at the end of the day, the players bargained for this. They agreed to this number. Should it be tweaked? Of course. But at the end of the day, it's your job to make yourself available on a basketball court. Your availability is your best ability. And if you want to sit out games at the beginning of the year, and then all of a sudden you have a catastrophic injury at the end of the season, and you're trying to play catch up to get those games that you voluntarily sat out at the beginning of the year, I can't feel sorry for you. So until this rule is tweaked or something is done, or if Adam Silver meets with the Players Association and tweaks this, it is what it is. You got to deal with it. It's 65 games. That's the threshold. Deal with it. Get over it. Move on.
It's music to my ears. B-Dot, you know how we do. Bring us home, my friend.
All right, man. Look, I've been thinking about something lately. and it's been really bothering me, like, for real, because I feel like as a society, come here, baby, come here, come on. God dang it, I feel like as a society we don't talk about certain things enough. Come on.
Aw.
Lily, wait, baby, wait, Lily, wait, baby. Okay, we just kind of accept it and we move on like everything is normal. Okay, and I'm sitting here like, am I the only one dealing with this? Because it's one of them situations where everything be cool, everything be smooth until it's not. And when it's not, it gets bad real fast. Okay, like your whole mood change, your whole energy different. You start moving different. You talking different. You ever been in a situation where you like, yeah, I'm in trouble, and it's nobody there to help? Literally nobody at all. You looking around hoping somebody got what you need, and they just looking back at you empty-handed. That's just a helpless feeling right there, fellas. And like, we done got so advanced with technology. Everything's fast, everything's smart, everything's upgraded, but somehow, some way, we made life harder, and nobody's talking about it. Like for real, I got something to say, and because the other day I found myself in a situation, my phone is on 2%. I'm out in public, no charger, and that's when it hit me. Man, these new iPhone chargers is a setup, dog. Like who at Apple sat in a meeting and said, "Hey y'all, let's make a charger that nobody else got." Okay, like what was the goal? Like, was y'all bored? Did y'all wake up and say, let's inconvenience everybody today, all right? Because back in the day, life was simple. You could just walk up to anybody. Hey, you got an iPhone charger? Boom, instant connection, instant help, community, brotherhood. Now, you ask somebody for a charger, they hit you with a questionnaire. What you need? What you mean what I need? Now I got to sit here and explain my charger like it's my Zodiac sign. Yes, I'm a USB-C rising MagSafe with a 20-watt moon placement. Bro, my phone is on life support, okay? I don't care what kind it is. Just give me something that produces electricity, okay? And don't let your phone hit 1%. Now you sitting there sweating, okay? You got bubble guts. You not even texting a full sentence. Rick texting me, Doc texting me. I'm like, all right, bet. Jason like, hey, we gotta be on in 5 minutes. I'm like, bet. You typing in Morse code, okay, trying to survive. You start doing stuff you never do. I'm turning the brightness down. I'm closing apps. I'm putting my phone on airplane mode like I'm about to take off. For what? I already done landed in hell, okay? And don't let it die in public. Oh, it's over. You might as well go home. You can't take an Uber. You can't text. You can't call. You just outside lost like it's 1993. And everybody you ask got the old charger. Yeah, I got one right here. They pull out that lightning cable. Oh, wow, thank you for nothing. That's like offering a flip phone charger in 2026. And Apple don't even give you the block no more, Dwight. They give you the cord. Like, here you go, good luck. Find your block. Yeah. It's like trying to find the block. You ain't never gonna find the block. So now you got a wire, no brick, no charger, no hope, just vibes. And don't let somebody say, I got a wireless charger. Then you got to set your phone up down like a newborn baby. Shh, don't move. Don't touch it, okay? Now you're guarding your charger like it's the last plate of Thanksgiving. And now they talking about full wireless, no ports. And so now we outside with dead phones for real. Nah, man, look, Apple got us out here struggling. We went from anybody got a charger to anybody got this specific charger made between 2024 and 2026, compatible with my exact situation. Man, run the tape, man, because at this point, you don't need battery life. You need a support group, all right? And that's my goddamn rant. Apple.
All right, hey, Dot, I feel you 1,000%. I went from the iPhone 14 to the 15. I thought I had the right wires, the right outlet. I had to completely change everything again. They changed it on me. I'm like, come on, man.
Terrible, Dwight.
How old does Dwight sound right now?
I know.
Hey, Dwight, you good? I just got rid of my iPhone 15. So we in the same boat. Now they got the iPhone 18. I can't, man, look, I don't even want to talk about it, bro.
It's crazy.
I'm sweating. Apple, get it right.
I think
thank you.
I think I got like a 12. I think I still have a 12.
You're good.
I know, like when I charge it, it does have the little lightning thing up there. So that makes me a dinosaur, right? That's
Yes.
Probably not a great look, right? Probably shouldn't have admitted that on the air.
You good, Rick? You in Florida? Y'all still got crocodiles and alligators, the land of the dinosaurs. So you fit right. You fit right in. You good, bro?
My guy. And I'll tell you, this is the classic rock capital of the world. I'm not like I'm a rock and roll guy, but like classic rock, like Bob Seger and John Mellencamp and all that kind of stuff. Like, no. That's not for me. Man, down here, that's like angels singing when one of those songs comes on. Anyway, all right, we are out of jokes. We are out of time. I want to send a huge shout out to Gary Chavichian. He's a part of our crew, professional basketball player. There he is. And we congratulate Gary, and we join the LA Clippers and congratulate Gary being honored as one of the great Armenian athletes of all time. He's known as the Armenian Sniper. And I've seen video. I mean, this guy can shoot the rock. He's robotic with it, man. Great guy, super smart. And so coming up, we've got the interview that I did with Gary. But again, shout out to the LA Clippers for honoring Gary. I mean, he'll be there on the court and in the arena and all that kind of stuff and getting that love. And he's just a great dude, huge part of our team. We love Gary, and we're super proud of him. And just a big shout out to the Clippers for doing that very, very cool event for Gary. Also, big thanks to Dante Marchitelli. Big thanks behind the glass to Kai Josephson and Jason Arambulo. And our guys, we have B-Dot and the crew. We have Dr. X. We have A.M. Pfeffer. We have Dwight Walton. I am Rick Kamla, and we will see you guys and girls Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Guess what? The regular season will be over. The play-in tournament will be on. The conversations will be even more feisty than they have been today. We will see you very, very soon. Y'all stay safe. God bless. Have a great weekend. And peace out.
X, baby.